but now niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Y'all's the hater and all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Realest podcast.
What up, what up? We are back, man. The realest podcast ever. We're both shaded up on this
I had to go get mine,
on this Monday. You know what I'm saying?
Can't see me, but I'm shaded up too.
Yeah, I had to go get my Bottegas. I see you with your motherfucking, what are those, Louis?
Saint Laurent.
St. Laurent's, yeah. Very nice, very nice.
Got these.
I want to wear colorful glasses. I just can't.
These are great.
But they're not black.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Yeah, anything non-black.
Anything with any semblance of color in it. You know what I can't never get into? White glasses. You just automatically look like Fabo from D4L.
There's 3 black men on the planet that's allowed to wear white sunglasses. It's Fabo, T-Pain, and Coco Beware. If you ain't one of them, you tripping.
We gotta add Juicy J in there.
Juicy J can pull off a white flame.
Yeah,
you absolutely
with some
right.
fangs.
With some fangs.
I was listening to old 70s soul music and shit the other day. Did you know Stay Fly was from Willie Hutch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the sample the other day. I was like, damn, like, good times, man.
Yeah, Juicy J's a bad motherfucker. Speaking of Juicy J, apparently suck a nigga dick or something, and I hate to be pinging the YouTube algorithm like this so early.
You didn't wait 60 seconds.
Has become the official, like, hood anthem. That song has been remixed 15 times since starting with A$AP Ferg, Plain Jane, the G-Eazy song with Cardi B and A$AP Rocky on it. Somebody else remixed it recently. And then now Glorilla has her own terrible interpolation of this record. And the further we get down the chain, the worse these songs get. Because y'all not even trying, yo. Like, rap music, the state of rap music is kind of stink right now. Like, it's not that good.
It's just not for us.
That's what it is. It's not for us.
I'm not gonna say that it stank. I mean, it's a little rank.
It's
a little
Got a little swing to it.
Yeah, a little sugar up in there, a little something in there. But yeah, I don't think it stink. I just think it's not for us, you know. And that's one thing I've just accepted. Like, I've aged out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've tried to find music that is more suitable for my ears. For my liking.
Yeah.
You know, and even when I look at just like rap music at one point, like it was very diverse. You had Jay-Z and DMX. You also had the Locks in them, which was very aggressive. You had rappers like High Tech and Mos Def and Talib Kweli. You had the West Coast niggas who were smooth, gliding on everything. Like, and now rap, it like, don't matter where you from, it's one way.
Pocket.
It's just one way. It's super drill. It's super all over the place. And then the women's rap to me is even worse because it's just yo nigga. That's it.
Listen,
yo nigga bought to protect. Yo nigga ate this ass. Yo, it's just it's
bullshit.
all one thing.
Yesterday, the one performance, me and Dan ended up super impromptu. Ended up at the Roost picnic yesterday. Ended up backstage in the VIP area, whatever. The one performance we was there for that I watched it on television. I was standing there, I watched the whole performance, was City Girls, and I felt like such an old man because I'm sitting there counting how many times they said pussy in every song, and I'm like, damn, these hoes don't got no vocabulary.
No, I just
like
I put the pussy on your nigga. Yo nigga got that pussy.
Did I tell you I brought this pussy
Did I
with me?
tell you that?
The pussy is wax. The pussy will cover your whole forehead. That's how big the pussy is.
It's all big pussies everywhere. You know, the pussy stays wet all the time. You know, the pussy don't need nothing.
The pussy self-lubricates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the pussy is, man.
Pussy is squirting your eye.
Yeah.
Like,
and once your nigga get the pussy,
it's over.
Your nigga's gonna give me all the money. Like, it's the same.
Take a look at this arm. This all these watches.
All these Cartiers. Your nigga from the pussy.
Every nigga.
7 watches.
It's your nigga. It's her nigga.
That nigga.
That nigga. Like,
this my nigga right here in the middle.
It's the same shit over and over. And the young men is the same. Just, how
many blocks we gonna spend?
I'll pop a nigga. I'll lay a nigga down.
How many perks we gonna take?
I'll bust a mother. Like, it's just all day long. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, I'm to the point where, you know, I've said it in the last, week or two. I'm really in love with Dirk's album, but outside of that, I really haven't listened to nothing this year other than like Conway's album But I'm like podcasts, YouTube, audio books.
I'm
like
listening to audiobooks,
I can't
huh?
hear this shit, yo.
Yeah, I listen to audiobooks and watch history documentaries. That's pretty much
I
it.
can't
man.
hear.
They don't understand. My grandma and them like, you listen to that whoop whoop shit.
Yeah, we've become our parents.
I saw just how how hype and ecstatic like a lot of people around the city were the other day because Krishan Rock was running around,
Bro.
And I'm just like, yo, this toothless, she is pregnant and up on shit, jumping off shit, twerking, falling all over. I'm just like,
Yo, I got something for y'all because I know y'all ain't see this. I know y'all ain't see this coming. This nigga Blueface is such a maniac. He did a music video dissing Krishan Rock with 5 pregnant hoes in it.
In a hot tub.
In a hot tub.
it just
This is the craziest nigga of all time.
urban life is just such a. It's
He
such.
got pregnant hoes dancing around the pool. He has on a winter coat, no shirt,
Oh my god.
jeans. in the ass pool.
Take out the definition of toxic and just put blue face right there.
I can't deal with it, man. Let's start with the weekend.
Busy weekend, man.
Busy ass weekend here in the city, man. I didn't realize the economic implications, man. They brought a lot of people to the city.
Yeah.
Apparently, they said it was upwards of like 60,000 people that attended the Roots picnic this weekend.
Shit.
You know, all the different events or whatever.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Roots, you know, legendary Roots crew.
They made more money than I thought.
Oh yeah, they raking it in. Friday night they started with the concert and Dave Chappelle live at the Wells Fargo. One of one. Apparently it's supposed to be a Netflix special.
Dope.
I believe. It's called A Lunatic's Manifesto. Can I give my honest thoughts?
Yes.
All right, we miss Michael. Is it Michael Che?
Michael Che.
Michael Che. We miss Michael Che. I did catch the very end, like the last joke he did. It was very funny. He was talking about slavery and shit. Jon Stewart came out right before Dave Chappelle. And then the Roots came out and did an impromptu 35, 40-minute concert. Have you ever been to a Roots concert?
Yeah, I've been to Roots Picnic a couple times.
How do you feel about the Roots performing?
I think they're excellent. I think, you know, as like a cover band, as a lead band, original songs, whatever. I think that they're pretty much like the standard now. You know what I mean? Like they're pretty much, the best in the business. Been on television for like a decade now. And they kind of reinvented what it meant to be like a cover band, because they come with the hip hop influence and the more stronger bass and hi hats and stuff like that, and everybody individually can hold their own outside of the ensemble.
And that's one thing I noticed in them performing the other night. They have a moment in it where like everybody gets a solo.
Yeah.
Like Quest on the drums, then the guy on the bongos. He was on the little beat machine. He was fucking it up.
Yeah.
Their guitarist, I don't got his name right offhand. I should probably get that. You know what? I'm gonna do this right now. The Roots guitarist. No, Captain Kirk Douglas.
Oh, no wonder Hub died. Rest in peace, Hub. I didn't even know rest in peace.
Dan over here talking about Frankie Beverly and Maze and shit.
No, because the Spinners had a mean lead bassist.
His name is Captain Kirk Douglas. That nigga, yo, when he annihilated his guitar. So, like, to the point where like he got a standing over, like he was destroying that shit.
Yeah.
They all got solos: the sax, the trumpet, even what's the big instrument you wear? You got to put it on.
Oh, tuba?
Is it a tuba? I don't know. Tuba's because I don't know if I can fit in a tuba.
Bass?
No, not a bass.
Uh,
It's the big John that you it be on you and they be dancing and shit with it, and it's a big ass horn at the top. Is that a tuba?
I think that's a tuba.
That's the tuba.
I could be wrong. We some uncultured swine here, like not knowing all of the
Yeah, that's the tuba.
percussions.
Yeah. That's that. But this a tuba you hold. I'm talking about a tuba you wear.
Tuba you live in.
The nigga be in the tuba like it go on him and shit. I would need like a 4X tuba. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need big and tall tuba. But they were all phenomenal. Black Thought solo. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Did he bomb atomically?
He bombed as atomically as you could bomb. I mean, he went full super Saigon kamikaze bombing atomically.
Yeah.
And, you know, as always, the bomb atomically, after the third or fourth pyramid, it's like, I don't know what's being said, right? Like, it's too much. It's too fast.
I mean, but you're at a bomb atomically event.
Yeah, but bombing atomically at a 20,000 person concert, it's like, it get to the point where, like, motherfuckers was just leaving to go get nachos and shit. Coming back, like, it's it's a little
Like,
bit.
no, but the flex freestyle.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? This
like-
is, the flex freestyle.
Where do you rank Black Thought in your...
Yo, me and
Yo,
Dan had
man,
this
we
convo
just
the
had
other
a
day.
whole
We
hour
gonna get in
conversation.
trouble. We had a whole hour
I
conversation.
gotta say that for
about this.
Patreon.
Yeah, we had a whole. We don't want to offend anybody, but we had a whole
Yeah.
conversation about this. I look at Black Thought the same way I look at Andre 3000. I don't know how to rank him.
I agree.
The talent is a 10 out of 10.
And that's the thing with bombing atomically. It's like, you know, these brothers are smart, and you know that their talent is. It comes from the hieroglyphics and the ancient Greek,
Yeah.
you know, tombs and all of that shit. But it's like,
Unlock the Pharaoh's tombs to get this book of rhymes.
but it's like Range Rovers. Like you could have just simply you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd be like almost like too much.
Yeah, I recognize his. So it's like certain people. It's like I recognize their talent, I recognize their ability. But the problem is, historically speaking, they have not came to the court and put enough shots up. And unfortunately, Black Thought falls in that category of, you know, because you was with this legendary group and you had this, you know, classic album that everybody like regards as like a very important moment in hip hop with like Things Fall Apart. You know, because of the importance of that album and how much it's got reprised and this, you automatically get elevated to this like mythical status as an MC. But it's like, if I compare you to the field and the guys that were out when you were out, the guys that were out during that broke during the tail end of like your peak or whatever the case may be, and I compare your bodies of work to theirs, number one, they have way more to go off of. They have way more, you know, items on the menu, so to speak, to go off of. And most of them have a more palatable style of rapping that they do that's more pleasing to the ear and isn't so aggressive and so abrasive because of the over the head lyrical ability. It's like sometimes people need their music delivered to them a little more simpler.
I think Jay-Z honestly has two lines that fall very, very well into this.
Yep.
One, he said, "I dumbed down my lyrics to double my dollars." And then another time, Jay-Z said, what was the other line?
Lyrically, I'm trying to.
Lyrically, if skill soul truth be told, I'd probably be lyrically Talib Kweli. And it's just like, in the grand scheme of things, oh, that's the other line. Because you don't understand him, that don't mean that he nice. And that's kind of how I look at a lot of these like rappers at times, where it's just like they're rapping and you're more so impressed at the voice control or the breath control, and the word flipping and the verbiage. But then it's like,
What did he say?
Yeah, and then I look at how we look at great rap, and it's like Biggie's pretty much everybody's number one for the most part, and Biggie simply was like BIGPOPPA.
No info.
It's like, you get what I'm saying?
DEA.
Like, that's so opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah. And you got people that it's like, they both the nicest. And I just be like, Like, it just, I don't know.
So ability-wise, you know, you have guys like Black Thought, guys like, you know, Lupe Fiasco. And I even made the point to Dan, it's like, I think it's actually disrespectful to even compare Black Thought to Lupe Fiasco, because Lupe Fiasco balanced the bomb atomically shit with making big hit records. Like, he had #1 records. Kick Push, Superstar, what was the song with Snoop from The Cool? High Definition.
He's on Touch the Sky.
He's on Touch the Sky. Like, he balanced doing the super rap over your head rhyming, but also knowing when not to do that shit and just be a dope artist and give you big ass records, and he took down Warner Music Group at a time where they were the biggest shit in music, and he took them motherfuckers down and literally like forced them to put an album out like the whole night. He was the Rage Against the Machine. So it's like when I look at him, you know, compared to somebody like, you know, Tariq that just kind of like appeared here and there as this like mythical figure and just rapped when he felt like it, as opposed to somebody that was constantly like a present force in the game consistently and like always on the right projects, in with the right people, and making his presence felt as an MC. I can't necessarily say that took place.
Yeah, I think the Roots are phenomenal. Like just
Yes.
their presence on stage that just, I mean, I'm not even into all of that live band. Like I'm not the blues. Yeah, I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, you know how like BBQs, what's his name? BB King?
BB King,
BBQs.
yeah.
BB Kings and all of that shit down in Memphis. I remember going there and it was like, you know, I'm gonna be honest, if y'all like, good thing y'all sell ribs.
Cause I was
slim, you know. Like, it's just not what I'm into. And again, everybody has their own opinions. That's why I always say there's no right or no wrong. But me personally, I'm looking at it the other night where it's like, I'm talking about, dog, he was bombing for like 19 minutes. That's a long ass time to just be rapping.
That's a lot of Atomic Weed.
That's dog. And I'm telling you, yo, like,
and here's the other
after
thing.
once you mention Medusa, it's like,
I'm the snake charmer. The Medusa.
yo,
Shoot shots through your fake armor.
yeah, the flow freeze you like Medusa. Like once it gets to that point, it's like,
All right now. They got any more of them nuggets?
got any more of them nuggets?
Pretzel nuggets left? Shit. And here's the other thing, right? And I'm gonna wrap this up. Tariq is a legend. Tariq is always.
ate all my nachos.
Would you believe? And dusted this whole pan.
Oh man.
The other thing is this, and then I'm gonna get off of this topic. The other thing is this: Tariq is, you know, based on just pure ability alone, and the Roots doing what they did, he's forever cemented, I think, in like the top 5 of Philly rappers and all of that stuff. Matt probably begs to differ, but I still think he's solidified in that because we've seen him rap with Big Pun and then recently Benny the Butcher and then the Flex freestyle and blah blah blah. But I think that Flex freestyle over time has started to like do more harm than good for his reputation because it's people's default when they are trying to describe like why he's a great MC. That's what they're defaulting to, and you know what they're not defaulting to? A song. Yeah. It's just him rapping in a vacuum, good as shit for 15 minutes or whatever the case may be, but it's not relevant to a lyrical performance of his that you remember on a song that was commercially released for consumption.
Yeah, I do feel like at times there are certain people whose ability is too off the scale that we can't really grade. Like, I'm sorry. I like, and I realize too that type of music just ain't for me. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah, I can take it in like small doses. Like, I think, Mos Def is like, talent wise, he's top 20. Like,
but even
all
Mos
time
Def figured out how to make certain songs.
Exactly.
Mos Def figured out how to do Miss New Booty and Miss Fat Booty and what was the other Mos Def joint I loved? Oh no! Look at who they let in the back door. Like, he figured out how to make catchy shit. The Roots got good ass songs. Don't get fucked up. But I'm just saying, like, the way everyone acts, where it's like, I know me personally, if I was at a concert and Lil Wayne decided to rap for 19 minutes straight like that, I'd have been like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Right. Or even Push rapping for 19 minutes. Hove, shit, Jeezy. It'd have been way more like, I don't know, like
impactful.
Not impactful, but it would have just had like
memorable.
Yeah, where it's like that kind of. It was just like, I've never been in a tornado, but I assume that when a tornado hits you and you're in the eye of the tornado,
I'm in the heart of the storm.
Yeah, flow like a tornado. You better call NATO. Shit, that is too much. It's just too much going on. And maybe I'm just slow. I don't know. But Jay dumbed it down.
Yeah, Jay said this here's the dog years. The motherfuckers don't shed. I tried to give them light, but motherfuckers want dead. So I travel with the barrel, with the chrome, with the leg. Because when it's on, then it's on. The shot's thrown through your head. Like he acknowledged, like, yo, begrudgingly, I didn't want to become Jehovah. Y'all forced my hand.
Jay got another one. My bills through the roof. I can't do numbers like the Roots. Yeah. No disrespect. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the performance was just like, just the way they control the crowd with the just nonstop hitting you with the instruments, with the breakdowns, and everybody can play their part. That was awesome. And then Dave Chappelle came out. Yo. Dave Chappelle, I've said it before, I think he's probably the GOAT. You know, there are a lot of people who just look at Richard Pryor as just too much of a figure. Sort of like some Michael Jordan shit. So it's just the way it go. Like,
he had the first sketch comedy show and his association to greatness and other dope
too
comedians.
Much ground got broke in the Richard Pryor shit.
Knowing where he started as like a Bill Cosby type.
But like Lawrence Killebrew said, Dave Chappelle's ability,
he's a wizard.
It's almost masterful at just how he does the shit, yo. Dog. Me and Kev, when I talk about like no bullshit, yo, shout out Kev B, we were literally on the floor at one point. On the floor. Just one little joke, because it was just so funny to me. Do you know the guy who became a trans woman that's swimming now?
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle was like, y'all here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There's a guy, he was ranked 437th in male swimming. 437. That's not bad by any means. 437? All these niggas out here, you 437, that's excellent. But he decided that he wanted to be a she. He made a few key edits. And
a few key edits?
And now he is the fastest bitch in the bar. He said he's smoking them bitches so bad, Aquaman be down there watching the race like,
Aquaman.
Yo, man. When I tell you we couldn't stand up off of that shit, the way he did it was excellent. It was excellent. And it was just a nonstop onslaught of those kind. He went into talking about the handicapped people, Asian people. It was just nuts how he went it's almost like every special he's getting more and more like tough.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, how hard can I really, really hit these motherfuckers with?
Yeah, let me see what my limit is.
Let me see if I can push this shit again. And he even was
find some new groups to get upset at.
And he was even making a joke like, yeah, I can't. Them people, they're what do you say? Oh my God. He said when you're wrong, you have the willing to like show compassion and be understanding. But when you're right and you know that you're right, you will fight for that shit to the death. That's why the gays are so mean. And it took like such a second for everybody to get it.
Yo.
He was on fire the other night. Like he was excellent, man. Dave Chappelle he's up there. And then walking out of the concert, yo, it was like, you didn't notice it going in, but coming out of the concert, I was like, maybe it was just the entrance we was at. Yo, it was so many handicapped people coming out, wheelchairs, one leg. I'm like, did he invite these motherfuckers?
Got something for you tonight.
Dog. Because he did like a good 20 minutes on like handicapped people and shit. It was brutal. It was brutal.
Like, why, David?
It was brutal. Like,
they say they want to be treated like no.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? But he was absolutely hilarious. Jon Stewart was okay. You know what I'm saying? White guy.
Oh, he was actually doing comedy?
He opened up.
Oh shit!
It was Michael Che, then Jon Stewart, then Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
I didn't think Jon Stewart would ever do comedy again.
I mean, it's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the Philly, the Laugh House and no shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The Wells Fargo and shit. Like, so yeah. All in all, though, the concert and the show was really, really good. And that was where I bowed out.
Yeah.
of the weekend.
Pull the ripcord.
Yeah, I wasn't going down.
I'm out of here. I'll
shit.
say this: going into Roost Picnic, you know what I'm saying, over the weekend. This is, I believe, their second year at the Mann. Second year at the Mann. The show was canceled 2 years in a row, I believe, for COVID 2020, 2021. Show was canceled 2 years in a row. They're at the Mann, and I think that this year, just from being on the ground yesterday for even like an hour and just, you know, seeing kind of like how the show ran and all of that, and people, you know, from stage to stage and stuff like that, I feel like the Mann is the right venue for this thing.
Over the Festival Pier?
I think Festival Pier was perfect. But if you can't have Festival Pier, I think that the Mann is a suitable replacement because you have.
I saw a lot of people last year was complaining about the Mann.
Yeah, well, you have it was confusing. They didn't have like the site maps up and all of that and stuff like that. But this year it was clear instructions on go here, this stage here, this here, da 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 da. They filtered in and fleshed it in with like more vendors and stuff like that, to where it's like on your journey where you're going.
Okay.
It's not like just a bunch of like just dead air and people just trekking here, there, and everywhere. Now, what I will say is looking at the set times, there was almost like they staggered it a little bit, but it was almost like you literally had to pick between stuff. Like you had to make like an executive decision, like, yo, am I going to the podcast stage? Am I going to the presser stage? Or am I going to the park stage? Like, and you know, a couple different people got sacrificed like over the weekend because they might have been, you know, in a good premium time slot, but then they're up what they're up against or what's finishing up or what's on the tail end of their performance or whatever is driving people, like, you know what I'm saying, away from them. And it's like, yo, you would think that, you know, you create this this ecosystem, this like free flowing ecosystem where it's like in a perfect world, you get 10,000 people over here, 4,000 over here, 3,000 over here, and then it's like everybody, you know, gets to eat based on their commensurate stage. But a lot of times, like, you dramatically shifting the attention, because even like when Saucy Santana performed, the City Girls was like right immediately, like they set might have started like in the middle of his. So I'm sure, and I wasn't even out in the front, I was in a VIP tent. I'm sure he lost a significant amount of people that probably are fans of both, but they fans of City Girls more. So they migrated to like the City Girls stage and stuff like that.
Saucy Santana is the guy, right?
Yeah.
Isn't
in the
he
words
with
of
them?
Yes.
So why did they performing on different stages?
I mean, because you know, you're not the City Girls.
Oh,
He not main stage.
Not main stage yet.
no, but I mean, like, I thought they was like cool.
But he had his own set.
Oh, okay.
But that's you know what he's essentially, you know, my girl explained it to me. That's what he's been fighting for, like, for the last year, is to be recognized as a dope queer artist in his own right, and not like the third City Girl or whatever the hell it may be. So it's like, yeah, but sometimes, you know, your idols become rivals, and then, you know, you end up in these slots and stuff with these festivals and all of that shit, where it's like, you know, you gotta, you know, kind of pick and choose. And it's like, from that standpoint, I think that, you know, out of all the festivals over time, I think two have kind of like risen above all, which is like, you know, Made in America and obviously Rolling Loud. I think that they've kind of like revolutionized like the festival performance, and they just get it right, where it's like, yo, you got more than enough time to get from, it's multiple stages, but you got time to get from here to here and stuff like that, or whatever. And everybody kind of like gets their equal shine. But I, you know, that would be my only, you know, detraction or whatever, just from like an outside person looking in. Like, you know, if I was certain people's management, I would have been pissed. Like, once I got my set time and seen, oh, well, such and such is over here, and that's how far away? A half a mile? Oh, shit. So I'm going to lose 2/3 of my audience or whatever. It's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, in that scenario, it's like, yeah, the check is great, but, you know, you want them eyes or whatever, because you're trying to have those casual people and convert them, you know what I'm saying, them festival goers, like, in the fans.
Right.
So that's like my only, like, you know, only detraction. But otherwise, the set, the professionalism, all of that, top notch, very well ran show. Shout out 215 Bears, the security team. They was there. Those was like all my guys from like my nightclub days and all of that stuff. I seen a bunch of them all, you know, throughout the venue, various checkpoints and stuff like that. They made sure it was super secure. You know, wasn't no incidents to report that I know of or whatever. And it's like, you know, they pulled some dope shit. So Saturday night, I think the highlight of everything for Saturday was 2 highlights. So it was Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi came out, did the main stage or whatever. He was like the second headliner of the night before Lauryn Hill. Uzi came out, did the main stage, bombed it. He came out like in his full Lil Uzi Vert versus the world. He had the short purple dreads, he had on the tie-dye t-shirt, some jeans, sneakers, whatever. And he had a Burger King watch on. Like a Burger King watch on or whatever. He did the full, full time capsule thing because it's like a full circle moment for him where he started Roots Picnic. That was his first big festival. Yeah. And he started on the small stage and he lit it up so fucking bad the shit went viral or whatever, and that was kind of like the start of his upward trajectory and being recognized as one of the best live performers in the game. So shout out to Uzi, his whole team. That was super dope. And then the second thing was Lauryn Hill. So people were mad at Lauryn Hill. She showed up late.
I mean,
hour and a half.
Showed up hour and a half late.
Did she really, or are y'all joking?
No bullshit.
I took the odds. Gunna put odds.
I took the odds.
He said 30 to 45 minutes or 1 to 2 hours. I like 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah, so about an hour and a half late or whatever.
I have thoughts on that, and again, like you said earlier with the Black Thought Joan, where it's just like, I don't want to offend nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do it.
Listen, man.
Don't do it.
Go ahead.
Don't do it.
Go ahead.
I know where you're going.
Go ahead. I'll let you go.
You're about to break my heart. Don't do it.
Go ahead.
So Lauryn, ended up coming out, whatever. She did a great job. They had the Fugees reunion. So this is the other big moment from night one. Fugees reunion, Prize about to get 67,000 years in jail. Wyclef is trying to be president of like annexed Haiti and everything in the Caribbean or whatever.
Wyclef had on a very nice Louis Vuitton sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I like that.
And they came out and did their Fugees thing, whatever the case may be. It caught the attention of all the blogs, went viral. It was like a good wholesome moment for Black culture. What are you about to say about Lauryn Hill?
All right. Did y'all hear it?
No.
But you didn't hear any of the performance?
No. I just seen the highlights, whatever. I just seen the
Lauryn Hill's voice is drastically like different. Did you hear any of it?
No, I ain't hear none of it.
You didn't hear none of it?
No.
Where were y'all at?
Instagram.
Yeah, I was on the gram. I was home asleep on Saturday night. I caught all this shit secondhand.
Let me show you. Let me see.
We are looking up Lauryn Hill's 2023 Roots Picnic performance.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta break that down. But her voice is like, it feels like it's just gone.
Well, I mean,
She ain't had no brandy and honey.
Yeah, I mean, you've been screaming at your cheating husband for 20 years. It's way more raspy than
It's way more Yeah, that's what I was.
Was that on YouTube?
Yeah.
They might have changed it up so that for the.
Every clip I saw, it seemed like
that.
It's just like,
some people change it up on YouTube so they don't get.
Because to me, Lauryn Hill not that old.
Yeah, no, she about my age.
Like, you remember Frankie Beverly? When Frankie Beverly shit is shot. Like, I don't even think Frankie Beverly performing anymore. Remember at the BET Awards when they gave him the Lifetime joint, they did dun 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 dun, and he what's it dun 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 you make me happy. I was like, all right, man.
Too many Marlboros.
Yeah, Frankie Beverly joint going.
Paul Malls.
Yeah. And the whole time I thought that was a hat Lauryn Hill had on. That was her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was like a helmet of some sort, some type of cool winter hat, but no. But
just say it.
Miseducation was a long time ago. It was a very long time ago.
25 years ago.
And Nas said it best. Oh, you went platinum? Yeah, that's nice. Now let me see you do the same thing twice. 3 times, 4 times, and a couple of more times. Nigga, you amateur night, I'm Showtime. And I think we kind of, as a people, we hang on these like moments and all of that, but it's like, it should have been replicated or not even duplicated, but more so there should be a lot more in that discography or in that bag
Yeah, for sure.
than there is.
I agree, and I definitely understand the criticism of Lauryn with that in mind, because it's essentially like, yo, you sacrificed your career chasing around a nigga, basically. Like, that's essentially what happened.
Like me personally, I just look at like the hype around the Get It Fucked Up, Miseducation. You can make an argument that that's one of the best albums.
perfect
ever.
album.
It's perfect.
It's flawless. It's perfect in every way.
It's perfect because of the skits with the kids. You ain't bringing the kids to the performance. Who knows where they are now? You know what I'm saying?
Who knows where they are now?
Seriously.
Working at Target.
And to me,
Wild Burgers.
to me, I think there are a lot more catalogs and discographies that I'd rather see than that.
Well, let's look at like who are her, contemporaries, both from the same era and after. So that would be Mary J. Blige.
I was just about to say, Mary. I'd rather see a Mary J.
I'd rather see Mary 7 days out of 7 over Lauryn. So you got Mary J. And to Mary's credit, Mary's touring, doing her biggest tours of her career right now as a legacy act, because she's still putting numbers on the board. And it's like, yo, we made fun of the album. We didn't know the album came out and all that, but it still did its job in its segmentation, in its category, in rhythmic and urban adult contemporary. It was a monster. Like, it fucking dominated, and it got nominated for every Grammy in its category. And I think it won one or two or something like that, maybe. But yeah, so you got Mary, you got who else is around? I mean, you had the Mayas, the A. Maries. They obviously don't stack up, because you still got to add the Fugees catalog in there, those 2 albums or whatever. Monica's definitely got a better overall discography than Lauryn Hill.
I think it's more so just like how you say all the time, the mythical making of what Lauryn Hill is and was. That's what we like. Because even when I saw the lineup, and I'm just like, I'd rather see Usher.
Yeah, it's like it's all the other shit. It's Sister Act 2. It's the it's the Fugees, and then it didn't pop, and then they came out with
fucked up. I love
then the
Lauryn
Roberta
Hill.
Flack cover.
I was happy when she disobeyed her mama and went to the competition. I love Lauryn Hill, but I just, you know what I mean.
There's something to be said for the fact that, like, when women have a certain aesthetic. They have that, Ebony Queen Mother, Sea Moss Goddess, like, you're not like allowed to criticize them. And it's like certain women.
You said it so fast.
Yeah, it's certain figures that hit in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not allowed to criticize India Arie. You're not allowed to criticize Erykah Badu. You're not allowed to criticize, Lauryn Hill and stuff like that.
Sea Moss Goddess is great.
Is that not what they are?
No, that's real.
It's like,
Paul Moody and what his old standards. Remember when Erykah Badu first came out?
Yeah.
He said, you talking about somebody I love, and I don't know what the fuck she's saying. He said, he was making noise. He was like, comedians do this shit where they'll be talking about one thing, but then they'll throw to something real quick, but that's a play to come back. And he was like, they love Erykah Badu. She just called Tyrone, you broke ass nigga. She just, I fucking like her. He's like, I was talking to a nigga the other day on the train, and they still can't find OJ's knife. And the nigga told me Erykah Badu got it wrapped up in her shit. Remember she used to wear that big thing on her head with silly as shit.
Yeah, it's like when it's almost like a cloak of protection. Yeah, like if you was around for like the height of neo soul and you made an impact, we are not allowed to criticize you. Yeah. Like it's just like, no, this is the best music of all time. It's perfect in every way, and Jay Dilla did the beats, so it got to be great. Like, it's like that whole thing, and it's like there is some truth to some of that. Like somebody like D'Angelo gets elevated in people's like all times and stuff like that, when in reality it's like 2 albums, like,
and he was crazy,
out his mind. There's a whole episode on I think this season of Atlanta where they were looking for D'Angelo, like, and they was like having to go through like all of these back channels, and like you got to go to this convenience store and then go in the back and then go through the bathroom wall, like enter this underground fight club in order to find D'Angelo, like shit like that. And, it's something to be said for the people that consistently show the fuck up and put numbers on the board. People like Monica, people like Brandy, people like Mary J. Blige obviously being probably the leader in that category. People like, Mariah Carey, who even on the face of a flop came back and delivered the best work of her career with Emancipation of Mimi and like overcoming and, having those fucking life problems. It's like, who had more life problems than Mariah Carey? Her motherfucking ex-husband was the president of Sony Music Entertainment. Like, she had to leave the label. Because this nigga's trying to put her on the shelf permanently because their marriage didn't work. Like, who had more problems than Mariah Carey? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Fucking, I don't know. Like I said, I just, I knew I wasn't going because I don't got all night. You know what I'm saying? To just be out there standing around and shit. When an artist isn't on time like that drastically late, what happens?
The headliners, you gotta wait around.
You gotta wait.
Have you ever had that happen?
Because they ain't giving no money. Oh yeah, I had a situation like that happen with, of all people, fucking YF and Lucci, and it wasn't that he didn't show up. He showed up extremely late. Like literally, we was doing these double bookings with some players from Baltimore, like some major party players, whatever, in Baltimore. The person that connected us ended up being a scam artist, so he ended up scamming them out of like a substantial amount of money, like $20,000 or whatever, to do this double booking for YF and Lucci. And it's like all of this shit in Baltimore closes at 1:00. So the expectation is they gonna get there. He gonna, you know what I'm saying? He gonna do his motherfucking performance basically 12:30, be the fuck out of there by 1:00 because y'all closed at 1:00. Somehow, some way, these motherfuckers convinced YF and Lucci to stay for like mad long because they was chasing their money that they didn't have or whatever. And they made him wait outside for like 75 minutes, like waiting on them to collect the money from people walking up at the door so that they could pay him his money to come in there and perform. Ended up keeping him there in Baltimore until 2 a.m. He didn't get to Philly to Vanity Grand till 3:30 in the morning. We closed at 4. And I basically had like a Mexican standoff in the parking lot with like YF and Lucci and his management and explaining like, what went on and this and this and this. And the fucked up part about it is we was 90% paid out already. Like we had a $20,000 booking. We had already given him like $19,000. So like we're more than like 90% paid up. We owe this nigga like $1,200 when he get here, some goofy shit like that. And that motherfucker pulled up extremely late. And then, we ended up staying open later and getting a performance and all that, but like mad people had left already. They just thought the nigga wasn't coming. And that's a situation where it's like it ends up falling when the artist fucks up like that. The artist is still not wrong in the eyes of the people. They gonna look at like the venue did some janky shit regardless of our reputation of not having no false advertisement with no acts. They're gonna look at the club like we on some janky shit or we did something and that's why the artist ain't come or we didn't have the money and the artist is, you know what I'm saying?
But I think certain artists now have a reputation for non-punctual, you know what I mean? And Lauryn Hill is probably at the top of the list.
She's clearly at the top of the list. Like
It's her, and then it used to be DMX.
DMX, rest in peace, yeah.
And Jeremiah's another one.
Yeah?
Jeremiah sent the doppelganger on tour.
Yeah?
Yes, he at the crib chilling. The doppelganger performing with glasses and a hoodie on at the concert. Jeremiah calling the nigga afterwards like, how we do tonight?
What it look like out there? That's funny as shit.
Chief Keef just don't show up at all.
At all. Chief Keef didn't show up for a radio show that he got booked at in Philly, Franklin Music Hall. Yeah. We had the after party. Shout out my nigga Coon, formerly of Dream Chasers, my man Coon. Coon, had the relationship with all of the artists. Like Chief Keef and Meek was like, pretty much real tied in from early, whatever. So he got direct connections to like all of Chicago, all the Memphis artists, all the Florida. He knows everybody. So we was doing a ton of events with him. And he see Chief Keef on his radio show, whatever. We connect with the people that's doing the concert. Yo, we want to do this after party, da. We'll include y'all on it. Woo. Okay, cool. Worked it out. It was like a fair number, like a low number. This nigga straight didn't come to the concert because he was playing like Call of Duty or something like that. And was just like, I was like killing him on Call of Duty.
I was killing him.
I didn't want to get on the plane. And the nigga just didn't come. And he never made the show up or nothing. It's just like, do what you got to do. Like, do what? Like, you're not even like a real human being. Like, I don't even have like a way to contact you other than an email. I don't.
That's funny as shit.
This doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so it's like certain people just like don't show up. Like,
yeah. And what happened with the second day of the picnic? That was Usher.
So second day of the picnic was Usher, City Girls, Ari Lennox. I saw City Girls performance on the TV. People loved it. Even like the neo soul chicks was going crazy, and I'm like, this is part of the problem, but I'll explain that later. Yeah. this is the problem. You know what I'm saying?
They went to the little dashiki dresses,
shaking them asses.
started shaking some back.
And then I heard Ari Lennox performance. I didn't actually see it on the TV at the time. We was talking to Clark Kent or whatever. Shout out to Clark Kent. But yeah, second day, me and Dan ended up there impromptu. Dan was shooting some photos and stuff with Pure Fuel. We just ended up at the Roost picnic, impromptu. We got smuggled in.
Yeah, shout out to Doobie for taking a page out of Harriet Tubman's book.
Underground Railroad. Yeah, so it's like he set up an outpost. That's what we're gonna call it, an outpost. He set up an outpost.
Doobie sent this?
Arrive here, ask for this person, slide the door open, ask for this person, tell them you with Doobie, and then they're gonna usher you into the venue through a back channel, and then you arrive, and then now you're in the VIP area.
Okay. Sounds like fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like
But
fun.
once you get there, here's the problem with getting smuggled in somewhere. Now you can't leave.
You just
so now you're just here with no credential. You don't got no craft services ticket. You don't got no
Drink ticket?
no drink ticket, no nothing. You just get back here with a camera. Just chilling. So that was us. Like just back there stuck, can't eat, can't leave, whatever. All the Pure Fuel you could drink. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to that. But we ended up connecting with Clark Kent, DJ Clark Kent, Cortez Bryant, former manager of Drake, still current manager of Lil Wayne, behind the Young Money entertainment empire, behind Aspire Music Group, which was the company that he started with Jazz Prince and all that around Drake. And he was really cool, really dope. Rata from Pure Fuels introduced him. Shout out Rata. And who else did we talk to? Oh, we saw Ness back there.
Ness.
Saw Ness. Saw Diamond D. Digging in the Crates crew, legendary Digging in the Crates crew.
Dapper.
Dapper from Philly, real Dapper, and Justin Edwards from Imhotep was there too. He's a Pure Fuel athlete. He is the #1 basketball prospect from Philadelphia in the last 30 years. Imhotep swept the whole thing, won state championship and all that stuff, and he's going to the University of Kentucky next year.
That's nice.
With D-Wack. They
Prep
playing
store.
together.
Yeah, D-Wack Jr. Yeah. Did you catch any of the podcast stages? Any of that shit?
None whatsoever.
We couldn't move.
That's right.
Could not move. And they wasn't broadcasting the podcast stage on the televisions back there. So you didn't even hear it. Like, it wasn't even patched in. They was only patching you to the presser stage and then the park stage or whatever. They wasn't even patching in the podcast stage. Shout out to the office. They did the podcast stage yesterday. Don't Call Me Mona. Mona had a lot of people pull up for her podcast stage. I seen that. That was the most videos I seen yesterday. A lot of people tagged the office too. That was there for their live pod.
Who was there Saturday for the pod?
Saturday. Let's look at the schedule.
I'm trying to think. Oh, Poor Minds.
Was Lip Service? What was that last year?
Lip Service.
Yeah, Lip Service. Yeah, so Saturday was.
See, the one thing about the picnic is no service there. So you would think there's nothing going on, but at like midnight, you'll just see.
Yeah. So Saturday was Trap Nerds, Questlove Supreme, Poor Minds, Lip Service with Angela Yee, and then DJ Akademiks. Which brings me to my down bad person of the week.
Oh, Ack was Saturday.
Ack was Saturday.
Okay.
My down bad person of the week, man. I hate it had to be him. I actually like Ack a lot. DJ Akademiks, the organizers did Act dirty. So to my original point that I was making about, like, a couple people got sacrificed over the course of the weekend by, the scheduling and stuff like that, layouts. Akademiks had the main stage on he had the podcast stage. He had the feature set time, 8 p.m., prime time, 8 p.m. Saturday night on the podcast stage. And unfortunately, about 13 people pulled up. And it just was like a super duper crazy look. And, so
wait,
now,
he had the last joint?
He had the last slot.
Yeah, that don't make any sense then now.
Yeah, he had the last slot on the podcast stage. He was the Saturday night headliner for the podcast stage, and he literally had like 13 people over there. And, he got caught up, I think, in two things. So the first thing is Roots Picnic is not DJ Akademiks demographic.
No.
At all.
No, these people are way too smart.
Yes. Way too sophisticated. These are people with careers. These are, leaders of industry, people with cultural understanding.
People that come outside the house.
Yeah, they don't respect act like that. You know
what they call, these aren't incels.
Yeah, these are not incels. These are active people that, touch grass and feel the air and get stung by bees and stuff like that. People that live.
Touch grass.
Yeah, like people that are out here making an impact on life. And then number 2, Lil Uzi Vert performance was at 7:30 on the main stage or whatever. And people he hadn't finished yet. So people had not left from where Uzi was to get to the podcast stage, which was like a ways away. They hadn't left. He was still performing. He had like an hour set or whatever. So he was dead smack in the middle of his set, and nobody was leaving Uzi to go see act.
Right.
On the podcast stage. So
bad John.
Yeah, he ended up with a bad John. It was a bad look. Now, to his credit, he went on the stream. He talked about it. He was like, "Yo, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I made a couple of excuses. I ain't even gonna make no excuses because when these other niggas flop, I don't be wanting to hear their excuses, so I'm gonna just hold this L right now and I'm gonna just take it." So it's like, unfortunately, Act, you're the down bad person of the week, man.
I mean, you ended up on a stage that wasn't a stage that Lil Uzi was on in Philadelphia. That's just like
overkill.
Barzini meeting.
That's like us doing a live show in Toronto during the headliner for OVO Fest. Like, it's just stupid. You know what I'm saying?
You're doing Party Next Door set it.
No, like Drake. Like, Uzi is Drake in Philly. Like, why the fuck would you go on stage anywhere? I'd have been like, yeah, I'll go on stage while Uzi's on the damn stage. I'll do my shit on. I'll be over here. Yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, that's funny as shit, man.
But yeah, so that was Sunday. Then Usher came and closed it out. I think it was Ari Lennox was second to last, I want to say, and then Usher. Let me get this right. No, it was the J Period mixtape, and then it was Usher finished. So the J Period mixtape was Black Thought, Busta Rhymes, and Eve. I never thought that they would get Eve to pull up to any of these things ever again, but they did it. And then the headliner on the presser stage was Lucky Day, and right before that was DJ Drama. DJ Drama brought out Philly's Most Wanted, Major Figures. They did Yeah That's Us. Philly's Most Wanted, I think, performed Cross the Border, whatever the case may be. And then I don't know who else Drama brought out. I think Fat Joe came out with Drama too.
Okay.
Yeah, Fat Joe came out with Drama too and performed Lean Back and a couple other songs or whatever. Yeah, so that was Roots Picnic. So Usher closed out Sunday night.
Can't forget about Bree Stevens and them jeans.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Bree Stevens. We want to give you.
Yeah, I think she's phenomenal.
Oh my God, she's amazing to look at. Shout out Bree Stevens. You was wearing them jeans. It was like this much crack out. Like it was like
old school.
Yeah, like the old school. Like remember like the Janet Jackson photo shoot where she had the topless, but then she had the boyfriend jeans, and you see this much crack, like just enough, just like enough half crack. A credit card, just enough crack to be totally turned on.
We love you, Bree Stevens.
Yeah, that was, you have fans in us. I can't even talk. You, we, me, me, like the little white kid. And why you I can't even talk. Think about that ass.
All in all, though, it looked like it was a good time for the city.
It was a good time, man. It was a dope weekend, man. They try to contain the circulation around the Mann to a minimum, whatever. Didn't really kill traffic that bad. You could still get around through West Philly. Even though this festival was going on. You can still get around Fairmount Park, you know what I'm saying, other than like Belmont. Belmont was trash. Right. But the rest of Fairmount Park, you could just easily still get around and stuff like that. They did a great job. They had right down to the security, a lot of the acts. Now, here's my one suggestion for the Roots Picnic going forward. Yeah, buddy. Here's my.
Let me go. Yeah, that's us.
Yeah, that's us. The doom. Yeah. My one suggestion for
when you get paid, you go check your account. Yeah, it's all.
That's all in there. So my one suggestion, for the Roots Picnic going forward, would be to continue, expanding what it means to be a part of like the Roots Picnic lineup. and including some of these other like younger artists that's gonna bring a little bit of different energy and stuff. Like I think G Herbo should get a shot in the future. I think Dirk should get a shot. I think Dirk is blacked out though because he's doing Dope Show's anniversary show. So I think Dirk was blacked out. I think this would have been a good year and a good album for Dirk to do Roots. At some point, I don't know if they've had Lil Baby before. Anybody feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but Lil Baby should do Roots Picnic, like, because it's like, what I'm saying, especially with like a record in his catalog, like The Bigger Picture, and him starting to, start to make some more like a little bit smarter, more introspective records and stuff like that here and there. I think Lil Baby should get a shot. Artists like Polo G, who makes like some decent, introspective, somewhat conscious, gangster music and stuff like that. So it's a couple of different people out there that I feel like, should get a shot. And I definitely think that they should, work on expanding the Roots Picnic, man. There's a premium right now, for, live performance. Like people want to go to, festivals and see artists perform and be able to buy merch and interact with, celebrities and stuff like that. Like, there's a real deal market for that shit. You know what I mean? And I know there was plans at a point to do Roots Picnic in New York and potentially one in LA and like start to expand it. I think that they should, push forward with that. But overall, I think it was good. They a lot of surprises, a lot of additional people pulled up. That wasn't on the lineup, and that's what I think makes Roots Picnic what it is. It's like the one thing, it's like one of two things we got where it's like Made in America Roots, where people that aren't necessarily on the bill are still gonna, find their way out and about in the city and stuff like that.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who went. Shout out to everybody who performed. Looked like a good ass time.
Shout out to Towel. Shout out to Moo. All the whole Live Nation Urban team and all of that. They did a great job with this event, man. I want to give them they credit for that.
Yeah. What else we got over there? Let's get into some topics, man.
So more on the weekend. Would you believe that after all of this hubbub and all of this back and forth over the last 2 weeks, that DJ Envy, in fact, is not on Rick Ross's level after all?
Well, yeah. Did you know it got so ridiculous that now apparently one of them is suing somebody?
Yeah, there's a cease and desist. And Dumb Plays Baby on. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Absolute mess.
It's a mess. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Envy opened the door by telling that cap-ass story about the attorney, the state DA calling him and all this bullshit. And it's just like, this is not necessary. You know what I mean? And that dropped right after we recorded last week. And it's like one of them joints where it's like, bro. So here's the thing about, like, I hang with lawyers. Hang with a lot of lawyers, my friend. Shout out to Dunbar, Kev, Simon, Anwar, like, you know what I mean? All these attorneys that we know. Prince, like, all these attorneys that we know. Here's the thing. Most of them started in the DA.
Tom Klein. Shout out everybody. Shout out the whole
the whole legal community. Here's the thing about good lawyers. Majority of them worked in a role as an ADA or a DA at some point in their career. You cut your chops, you know what I'm saying, doing civil service and all of that, working for the fucking state, and then you get your opportunity to go private practice or start your own shit, whatever the fuck it is that you want to do, or rise the ranks, try to be a U.S. attorney, stuff like that. Notice that I said all of them do this. You know why? Because there's multiple. So when you start throwing out the allegation that a DA from the state of Florida contacted you, you make it seem to a layperson that like there's one DA that called you. And it's like, there's hundreds of DAs in Florida. ADAs, DAs, and all that shit. There's literally hundreds of them. And they go by, would you believe it? They go by this thing called districts. You know why? Because they're district attorneys. So who's to even say that the DA that did contact you, this is not total bullshit, is in the district where this took place? How do you substantiate that? Right. How do you even know that he was in the state of Florida when this happened? How do you know he wasn't in California, which is a one-party consent state? You don't know any of this. So once again, this shows us that lying is the greatest force that people have in all of black culture. We will just lie.
When you put lying with the greater than sign, that should be crazy.
Just lying. Like we'll just make it up.
Yeah, we're
like,
just gonna farce.
We will just perpetuate this and hope that it's a dog whistle and somebody picked this up.
Right.
So Gunplay's girl is in the legal community, whatever the case may be. I think she's like, you know what I'm saying, like basically short of taking the bar of like becoming a full-fledged attorney. And she went and took the time to contact all the local DA's offices in and around South Florida where they are, file a restraining order against him, and send out a cease and desist where he now no longer can speak on her, him, their child, or anything substantive related to them in regards to this situation. And she said that I found nothing on the record with any of these 4 DA's offices that says anybody contacted you or called you. So essentially, you made this up. Like, this is all bullshit. And then the next level to it would be, I hope you're not insinuating that the state's attorney general contacted you in regards to this bullshit. Because that would be a misuse of power and a complete just waste of taxpayers' dollars. So I would hope that that's not what you were insinuating. So that leads me back to my original point, which is this nigga was clearly lying. Dave Chappelle voice. This nigga was clearly lying. And he got jammed up and got caught in his lie trying to be performative, and you look crazy. Yeah. So that's that on that. So Rick Ross's car show went off without a hitch. I was glued to Instagram Live all day, Instagram all day Saturday.
Yeah, I wasn't on the live, but I watched like on his page.
The Rick Ross car show page and all that. It was, I don't know how many people was there.
Yeah, it looked like more than 1,000.
It looked like way more than 1,000 people. Like they're reporting now.
1,000 people vending.
Yeah.
They were reporting that, and this is just an arbitrary number that got thrown out there, that 30,000 people were there. And I'm like, I don't know about that, but it was probably upwards of 10,000 people.
30,000 people at your house.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
Just having a square footage for 30,000 people.
Bro, like just the simple fact of him having the acreage to house 400 or 500 cars, a Ferris wheel, a carnival, a rodeo.
Nigga had a rodeo.
He had a rodeo on his property.
Like, oh, we here for Rick Ross. With the Daisy Duke show.
And he got all of this shit approved by the county.
Yeah.
Like, they approved this shit. And it's just like, yo, what he's doing is so impressive because he's just showing people through his actions, like the next generations and even the current generations, this what the fuck you need to be on. You need to own something significant of substance that's not a fucking chain or a car. Something that you can monetize and use in your favor. And he's branded his home.
I will say, for what Evander did with that home and then lost it, Rick Ross has literally turned that house into a revenue stream. Like, it's like unreal.
It's like a black Mecca. Like people are making pilgrimages to Ross's house.
Like you got all kinds of summits that are happening there. You got black empowerment for children that's happening there. They're filming movies at this house. They're doing car shows at this house. Like he's literally turned this thing into like it's an asset.
Yeah.
More than it is a problem. Or like even the whole farmland shit and it's just yellow button.
Yeah.
Like kudos, man.
If you are inspired seeing a nigga like Ross self-sponsor this shit, by the way. No outside sponsors. All companies that he's involved in, Slippery Soap, High Tolerance Cannabis, Bel Air Rosé, Sovereign Brands and all of that shit.
Stop involved?
I believe so.
Okay.
Self-sponsor this shit and have 10, 15,000 people pull up. The 30,000 is, that's OD. There wasn't 30,000 people there. But have 10, 15,000 people pull up at 150 to 7,000 a pop is insanity.
Right.
And to have enough economy around you where your vendors is paying 7,500, 10 bands, and they all came back from last year.
Yeah, shut up, my man, Lean.
And last year wasn't as big as this year, and niggas still came back. So that tell you the type of money that's out there. Yeah. Motherfuckers is there with duffel bags full of money trying to buy cars, trying to buy bikes. Ross talking about, I'll buy 50% of your business. Like, he like, this is like a real deal, some high tier network and shit, yo. And I can't do nothing but salute Ross, take my hat off to him. That motherfucker is.
Took a picture with everybody. As long as you got your phone out. Look at the picture. Where your phone? You can't do a picture.
Did every interview people asked them to do, like, everything. Because it's like, yo, if you here, you supposed to be here. It's love. Like, I'm giving everybody a shot. Like, I'm jumping in front of every camera and all that. I'm like, yo, we can't miss Rose Car Show ever again. We have to go.
Yeah, we put a whole 2024 itinerary together. Like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit we not missing.
I'm not missing nothing.
That
This
is
year was a rebuilding year. Next year we had everything smoking. F1 week in fucking Miami, Super Bowl in Vegas, WrestleMania,
Churchill down.
Yeah, Churchill, everything.
Everything. We ain't missing nothing.
The car show is definitely one of them things where it's like, I was just looking at it the other day, like, yo, motherfuckers was really coming with that heat.
With that heat.
Like, with that absolute, I'm a car nigga, so I like seeing that shit. And it's like, yo, it's dope to one, do it, but to do it in this manner of like, y'all niggas thought I was dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all done killed me in real life and fake life, all that shit. And here I am with some more Rick Ross shit, the biggest in the game. Like, I'm just like, he just always figures it the fuck out. And, I saw people this week slighting Envy, like Envy out of his mind if he think he, and it's just, it sucks because here we are again where it's like a black man gotta fucking completely fall apart for somebody to triumph when it just shouldn't even be there.
Yep.
And, it can go back to what Rick Ross said from the beginning, like, Envy not on my level, let's not speak. Like, get it, that's a slight. It is what it is. And, just because Envy went down the hole he went down, now you got all this crazy shit, legal shit involved, people getting threatened, all this crazy shit.
People saying you want some janky real estate shit, you about to get a class action lawsuit
And
filed against you.
It make people pick sides. And that's the nutty part where it's like, now you got to pick a side and no one wants to be on the losing side.
And that's the thing about beefing with people, and this is why the fuck we tend to just take the high road on certain shit and don't indulge in certain shit. When you beefing with a motherfucker, your kitchen better be clean. You better have your affairs in order. You better not be a part of no janky real estate deal or no shit that fell apart. You better not be in business with a nigga that allegedly took $12 million from people. Like, you better have your motherfucking kitchen clean, because when the beef start flying and niggas start cutting them WWE promos, all of that shit is coming out into the fucking forefront.
It's like going to Benihana. We throwing this right.
It's all kind of shit.
We flinging this shit everywhere. Like,
this shit is everywhere, and it's a tough slate, because it's like when I look at like the real estate shit falling apart or whatever, and that coming to the forefront, I don't think Envy was on no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's like he has too much to lose.
Right.
So I don't think Envy was on no bullshit. But it's like at the same token, it's like, yo, you got somebody essentially operating right under your nose that's doing just the wildest shit on earth, allegedly, and it speaks to discernment, and it speaks to just a lack of due diligence, and just like blindly trusting motherfuckers because they in the name of making money, when in reality they haven't even done shit to earn your trust but put a few dollars in your bank account. That's not, you know what I'm saying, what that is. Like, I trust you and Dan with my fucking life because y'all have substantiated that y'all are there for me in a different sort of way. Right. I don't get to meet a motherfucker on the street tomorrow, and just because we make $10,000 together, oh, this the greatest nigga of all time. No, it don't work that way.
Yeah, that shit happens though.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens because sometimes people be so used to being the giver that when they start finally receiving shit from somebody else, it throw them off kilter. And they just like, oh man, this my man. He making me money. This and this. He bringing the hoes over. Nigga went to Benihana's, brought me a to-go plate. Like, this nigga's awesome.
Hoes, steak, and zucchini. Money? Bro. You know
what I'm saying? But the whole time, that same motherfucker could be lining you up to be fucking to be a victim of they scam, or to use you and your legitimacy as the face of they BS. Use to take the elevator to the top. You know what I'm saying?
Step Brothers, you want to go do karate in the garage? Yep. We just become best friends? Yep.
Motherfuckers out here bonding over nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, in reality. And it's like, yo, all money ain't good money. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm hoping that, if this situation is a real situation and people was affected like how they saying they are, and people seem to be on top of their business and have receipts and all of that old stuff, like that, them people are made financially whole, and you know what I'm saying, and all the guilty parties get charged the way that they should be, because it's like, it's nothing honorable about consumer crime. Like, it's nothing, you can't convince me that this is like, that you had some altruistic reasoning of why you was doing this. Like, no, you took from people to pad your own pockets. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, once you get to a point where, and I alluded to this on Patreon, you start robbing like your mentees and shit like that. Like, dog, you are cooked. Like, so you mean to tell me you robbing other people that you in business with? Like, you robbing like essentially your business partners? Oh yeah, no, you're bugging out. Like,
you've gone off the reservation.
You've gone clearly off the reservation, dog.
Shout out to the car show, man. That shit looked
It looked phenomenal, man. Like I think Ross, with this weekend, I think he's reinvigorated a lot of people in the urban specters interest in like car shows and shit like that, and basically unlocking and showing people it can be more than just like the Philadelphia car show at the fucking convention center. Like it could be a more interactive, more immersive experience.
He had Meek perform. He had Gucci perform. Tyler the Creator, I think, pulled up.
Yeah, randomly.
John was a good.
It was a great look, man.
Very dope.
It was a great look, and like you said, man, people was pulling up with that shit. Like motherfuckers had they shit broke down to the motherfucking brake pad so you can see this shit custom all the way down to the calipers
underneath his engine, so you can look at it from the. He had that glass underneath it, like no, this thing.
Yeah, that shit was nice, man.
And then one of the guys Rick Ross gave the keys to last year, he bought the Harley off of. They made that Miami Dolphin Harley Davidson.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah, that joint looked fly as fuck.
Yeah, it was a big event. You know what I'm saying? And it's dope to see something happen, in the Atlanta metro, other than like hookah and Casamigos. Something like a value, some cultural shit where people literally is real deal going through there. Like one nigga, he got a hibachi business in Miami, whatever. Straight, Florida nigga, gold teeth, wicks in his hair and all that. He sold Ross 3 dunks last year or whatever, and he used that shit to go. He had a food truck, and he took that and went and got a restaurant location and bought some real estate and this and this. So it's like motherfuckers is creating real deal opportunities off of this fucking car show shit, yo.
Yeah, that's decent, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm definitely not missing that joint again, man. Shout out to Rose. My hats off to you. You put on this weekend, man.
That shit was fun.
The load-in was exciting. Watching the load-in on Instagram on Friday, like Turkey Leg Hut just pulled up. They got 30 cars and this and this. Like they was going crazy, man.
That's decent as shit. What else? What else we got over there?
Shannon Sharp is leaving FS1.
Yeah.
His last broadcast is going to be after the NBA Finals conclude the end of June. And, he was officially bought out of his contracts. I don't know if he bought them out or they bought him out. I don't know what happened. But he's out of his contracts, not only for Undisputed, but also Club Shay Shay, making him a free agent. I'm sure there's going to be some form of like a non-compete, so I don't expect him to leave this joint and then end up on ESPN 2 days later.
Club Shay Shay comes on what?
YouTube, but it's backed by FS1.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like he's built that up. I think they got like 2 million subs or whatever on that channel. So it's like he's built that up or whatever. So, you know what I mean? It's one of them things where it's like if you listen to all of the people in the industry, they're tracing it back to the DeMar Hamlin incident. They're basically saying like that's where it started from when, Shannon came on and tried to give his monologue or whatever, and Skip interrupted him in the middle of it. Like, it's like, nobody was mad at me. Like, he's like, I can't even finish my damn monologue. So it's like, they basically tracing it back to that. And they just basically saying like, yo, Shannon basically outgrew his role. Like, Skip is the final bang the gavel on everything. He's the judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to all things Undisputed or whatever. He picks, the topics, how long they going to stay on the topics. He damn near like picks his position and then give you your position on what you going to debate on, what you going to argue on, whatever. And Shannon became, essentially bigger than the show, to where he became like a trusted voice and like a go-to person for like culturally relevant discussion and shit like that. And then it's like you see him with Steve Harvey, and that's a great interview. And then you see him with Chad Ochocinco, and they talking about masculinity and manhood and not even talking about fucking sports or whatever. So he started to outgrow that role on the show. And I think Skip is just kind of like, count your days, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna get the fuck out of here. And, I don't think anybody saw this coming because Shannon did TV before this, like as an NFL analyst and all of that. I don't think nobody saw this sort of like explosion, coming. But it's like, he came on the show, and not only did he play Shannon Sharp, he played the Uncle Shay Shay and, with the Hennessy and the wife beater and the fucking the stocking cap and all of that shit. And he gave people a lot more to go off of personality wise and stuff like that. And people fell in love with the man. And he's become a trusted voice in the urban arena for just culturally relevant topics, period, not just sports. And, it was basically like, once that shit with that DeMar Hamlin joint happened, and then they had another blow up with the Tom Brady shit and all of that, I'm like, yeah, this is over. Like, and Stephen A. basically talked about it on his podcast on No Mercy. He was like, yeah, once I saw that, this is a wrap. Like, I already seen it.
Yeah, I don't fuck with Skip. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care for any of the motherfucking shows. I like Unc because he owned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you being owned trumps the bullshit.
Exactly.
Like, but yeah, at the end of the day, man, like, you know, black people, man, we're the ones. You know what I mean? We're the personality. We're the highlight, if you will, all the time. Like, you know, and I watched that show where it's like Skip to me plays the antagonist all the time. And that after it's 20 years now.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of corny. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you before, me when I look at sports and I see you don't fuck with Floyd Mayweather, you don't fuck with LeBron, you don't fuck with Kobe, you don't fuck with Tiger Woods, I can't listen to you.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, just ever. Like, that's like somebody coming in and being like, yeah, I'm a wrestling analyst. And yeah, I don't fuck with Bret Hart. I don't fuck with Shawn Michaels. Who else I don't fuck with? Ricky Steamboat. Get him the fuck out of here.
Macho Man. Definitely get him out of here.
It's just like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, okay, I see the angle that you're basically playing the small little white villain.
Yes.
And the I didn't get picked, so I'm gonna talk about y'all like a dog ass villain. And that shit just like, after a while, it's like, to me, it's stupid. Like, you got somebody sitting here who we don't know as being good at anything other than being a journalist and a writer.
Right.
Sitting across from arguably the second or third greatest position tight end player in NFL history, and he's telling him how he ain't shit.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Show me your Pulitzers. Show me when you won Writer of the Year or whatever for some shit that you did.
It's the shit
like,
that Chris Rock talked about, and that's why I tell people all the time, like, some comedy is deeper than just making you giggle and hold your tummy. Because some comedy has a real life point to it. Chris Rock said in, I forgot which special it was exactly, but he said, I live in Alpine, New Jersey. It's 4 black people that live in my community. It's me, it's Jay-Z, it's Mary J. Blige, and it's Jamie Foxx. I'm arguably the greatest comedian ever. Mary J. Blige is arguably the greatest R&B singer ever. Jay-Z is arguably the greatest rapper ever. Jamie Foxx is arguably one of the best actors ever. The white man that lives next door to me, he just a dentist.
Just a dentist.
He ain't the greatest dentist ever. He don't got no plaques. You know what I'm saying? It's just, he just a yank your tooth out dentist. If that was a black dentist to live next door to me, he would have had to invent teeth. That's real shit. Yeah. And as you see it all the time, like you talk about this debate culture where we got black versus white, but it's never black and white on the same scale.
Yeah.
You never look up and see Magic Johnson debating sports with Larry Bird.
Exactly.
It's Magic Johnson talking to Michael Cole. And you just like, what the fuck?
And you played the game, but I covered it.
And Michael Cole is telling Magic how he don't know what the fuck he's talking about basketball. That's where we at.
Yeah.
And to me, I be so sick of it.
It's like, a disingenuous sentiment, the way that they set this shit up.
Like, look at ESPN, like, First Take. Like, you really got Stephen A. Smith up there with Mad Dog.
Yeah.
And we got to listen to both of these idiots over top of J.J. Redick, who literally did it all in basketball. But we got to listen to Mad Dog. Mad Dog's 60 years old, crawling around
that
on
Bob
the stage.
Cousy, he the fucking president of the Bob Cousy fan club.
Dog.
I thought Bob Cousy was dead. Mad Dog raised so much hell, Bob Cousy responded to J.J. Redick. Mad Dog talked about that shit for 3 weeks.
But that's where we've gotten, and I'm just sick of this shit. So I'm happy it's over.
Yeah, it's like you're almost putting black excellent people in a position where they have to defend their, not only their point, but defend their greatness.
They gotta almost
against
like
somebody
prove,
that didn't really achieve shit.
That when Skip said that compared to Tom Brady, you ain't shit, John the Shannon show, I was just like,
it's time to flip the table.
I don't watch that Love and Hip Hop shit, but it's time to throw some Zinfandel. All right. It's time to throw a Bellini on. Like, I've had enough of this little white motherfucker. It's time to throw something across the table.
You're out.
Dog.
You're out of here.
Dog. And that shit just blows my mind at time where it's like, why the fuck is you see it all throughout all of this shit. Like, you got this person, like me personally, I like Mark Jackson with Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah.
I respect both of them motherfuckers like a motherfucker. I do. But it's like, I don't want to see Mark Jackson sit on a show and argue basketball with Johnny Knoxville. Because that's how ridiculous it gets.
Fucking party boy from Jackass.
And they'll make Johnny Knoxville the A Mike.
Yeah.
You know I'm not lying.
Real tough sports with Johnny Knoxville.
You'll dead ass cut on the show and see Bam Margera opposite Vince Carter. And you just like, how the fuck did we get here, yo? Like, this shit is crazy. I'm happy I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen next. I'm pretty sure he's going to have plenty of suitors. He probably going to have to wait, 6 to 9 months for he able to, do something else or whatever the case may be. But, the way that media works now, sometimes they just let you out of your shit and just let you go right ahead. But it's gonna be interesting because Pat McAfee just signed a deal with ESPN. They activate Pat McAfee network over there in the fall. His fans were pissed. Yeah. They were pissed. Yeah. But so it's like potentially you could have, Pat McAfee, Stephen A, JJ, and then, potentially now Shannon over there at ESPN. But, I'm curious to see how it works. But I would like to see, maybe Shannon do something in, like, the Showtime realm. I feel like Showtime, the way that they produce, sports shows and culturally relevant content, I think they got everybody beat right now. All the Smoke is an excellent show. In addition, Matt Barnes got, like, 14 shows in production over there right now with Showtime because it's like they're trusting his vision and getting behind him as a creative and, somebody that is, like an executive producer and a content guy and everything like that. So I feel like, I think that on a raw, unfiltered basis, being able to, just speak freely, I think something like Showtime would be real good for Shannon if he decided to go over there. Because then you still got CBS and then he could, fall into like some of the other stuff that they doing. As far as covering some of the other sporting events, combat sports and stuff like that, which I know he's been starting to get into also.
Yeah, should be decent. What else popped this week?
Are y'all keeping up with this Travis Rudolph case?
Oh man, yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
I'm not keeping up with it, but I'm seeing it.
Yes,
that woman is nuts.
She's the craziest woman of all time. So essentially, state of Florida.
It's always Florida.
Yeah, it's always Florida.
Real quick, just because you mentioned Florida, did you see the girl who the two kids set the car on fire while they was in the car?
I saw it, but I didn't click on it. I saw it made World Star.
The two kids were in the car. They was playing with like matches or a lighter or something. Set the car on fire while they was in the car. People rushed, get the kids out of the car. While they was in the car setting shit on fire, fucking around, the mom was in the store boosting.
You in the store boosting, come out your wheel on fire?
The wheel was stolen. I'm like, this is just going from bad to worse.
So you riding around with your kids in a
stolen car. Went to the mall to boost. They set the car on fire while she in there.
Oh, this is just all bad.
Yeah.
No, that's my down. I changed it. That's my down bad of the week. What the fuck? These are new developments.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
I changed it. It's funny.
That's
shit.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was like
blaze, though.
Yeah, we talk about like like levels.
Yeah, that joint was like a Molotov went off.
We talk about levels of stuff a lot. It's like it's so many like levels of failure that existed here to the end result. Like, all right, so you a booster, you about to go boost or whatever. You got a stolen car from John, Tom, and them, wherever the fuck you got this stolen car from.
Last part was she had an active warrant in another state, and I'm just like, yo. This shit is crazy, dog.
And she had a male co-conspirator.
Yeah,
with her.
right. And then once they said South Florida, I'm like, of course it's Florida.
Yeah, of course.
On the run, stolen whip, kids in the car, boosting, kids set the car on fire. They said she had already had 2 grand theft charges before the joint she was on the run for. Now they're going to charge her with child endangerment. They charging her with the arson. All this shit, and it's just like I'm like, I don't think the arson gonna stick because she ain't set the fire. Yeah, but they're charging it with it because the minors were left with shit that was flammable, and yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, wild John, man.
That's crazy. So another Florida case. Former NFL player Travis Rudolph. Essentially, he was an undrafted free agent. Ended up in the practice squad systems for the Giants, for Tampa Bay, and I think one other team or whatever the case may be. His career stats was like 11 catches for 132 yards, something like that. Not really an impactful guy, whatever the case may be. His football dreams just didn't pan out the way that he ultimately planned them. Then he had some injury issues, stuff like that, and he was trying to work himself all the way back in recovery and get to the CFL and then hopefully try to make one last push to the NFL. So he's dealing with this chick. And I don't even know the girl's name, but she is a vile, detestable woman in every way. And the reason why I'm saying this is just based off of her general disposition, her attitude, and how she was communicating when being placed on the stand in this case, and just essentially just showing no remorse whatsoever for this whole situation that she caused.
I know I have a view on this that's probably different than most people.
So her and Travis Rudolph are dating. Unbeknownst, they're supposed to be in an exclusive relationship. She has the code to his phone, whatever. He's living in his house in some city in Florida with his brother, whatever the case may be. He's dating this girl. The whole time, unbeknownst to Travis, she's married. She's legally married to somebody, but they're, I guess, separated, whatever, but she's back living with her mom. She told him, I'm a realtor, this, and this, positioning herself to look like this independent woman that don't need nobody. In short order, he basically discovers, like, this bitch ain't no real realtor. Like,
never sold a crib.
Like, she, took the test, barely passed it, and here we are. But, like, she's not, like, a successful realtor by no means.
Philly realtor.
Yeah, exactly. So he figures all of this out, whatever. They have a situation. She goes through his phone, see him, texting other hoes, whatever the case may be, starts attacking him. He's just trying to, like, yo, can you get off me, whatever. You see it from, like, the Ring camera. From that interaction, she sends out, like a nigger bat signal. Mm-hmm. I need y'all to come to this nigga Travis crib, shoot his shit up. Come shoot his shit up.
Have you ever gotten a come shoot this shit up text?
No.
Yeah,
Thank God.
Yeah. Gotta put my do not disturb on.
Oh, they wilding out there. Hit this little button on the side.
No comment.
Let me hit this little button on the side.
Close this up. They wilding in my phone.
Let me hit this little button on the side.
They bugging in my phone tonight. This is crazy.
I ain't never seen nothing so appalling
So
on my phone. Like,
her brother responds she had sex her brother. Her brother responds in a group chat with his other homies. Yo, that nigga Travis is dead. Whatever.
Tonight, Jack.
Did that nigga Travis.
Yo.
Get your black forces.
Yeah, let's roll, friends. Like,
And sure enough, he and 3 other friends showed up at Travis's door, knocked on the door like a police knock.
Right.
His brother come to the door, closed the door behind him. Hey, what's going on, fellas? How can I help y'all? This is Travis' older brother. Hey, what's going on, fellas? How can I help y'all? Yeah, Travis here. Oh, what y'all want with Travis? They get to talking, whatever. I guess the brother tell them, well, Travis ain't here, whatever. So they hit him with the, we'll tell him this. Tell him we said this. And they start jumping him, whatever. Travis hear the shit. He comes outside with his handy dandy AR-15.
I just happen to have an AR.
Right here by the door. Right here by the door. I was hoping a nigga knocked on my door tonight.
The Dracos was sold out. I gotta need the AR.
He's
pulling the plastic off. I just got this joke.
He come rushing out the door with his handy dandy AR-15 and start letting that shit scream. Bah, 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 bah. People start retreating or whatever. And then they booking feet in the air, hightailing it, trying to get out of there. He's off the porch at this point.
You know what old heads call running away from something? They call it kicking ass.
Yeah, kicking ass.
Because they be kicking legs be hitting.
Kicking ass. They kicking ass trying to get in the
car.
car.
I seen a young nigga. He was kicking ass down the street.
So they kicking ass trying to get away from this gunfire. Whatever. They let the brother go. They retreating trying to get in the car. Travis follows the car down the street and keeps throwing that shit. 39 shots in total.
That's where he dropped.
He Swiss cheesed this fucking Cadillac up. He hit, I think, 2 people.
Huh?
They pulled out though.
Yeah. So his thing is.
I was about to pause you. I didn't know what was going on.
His thing is when I was approaching the guys that was jumping my brother, I noticed the 2 people in the car both brandished the weapon. So that's what made me go forward and keep firing, was the presence of their weapons. I feared for my life at that point, and I had to neutralize the threat. So that's the talking point or whatever the case may be.
When the nigga say neutralize his statement, it means some business.
So he hits them up. They go probably 3-4 blocks away for they finally end up stopping the car, checking inventory, who all shot, this, and this. The brother who brung all these people here, he called the police while he's on the phone with the dispatch, police pull up, whatever the case may be. In the midst of them leaving his block to getting 4 blocks away, they discarded 2 pistols because they didn't want to get jammed up with the guns when the police pull up, and then they start asking questions about, well, where the fuck these guns come from, blah, blah, blah.
And that's why we had the court situation.
So now we're in a court situation because them not having the guns immediately on their person made it to where this looks like he just wilded out and just started shooting their car up or whatever. That's the story that they told. So then they backtrack it, get Travis's testimony, get the Ring camera footage, pull the text messages, realize the girl unsent 2 text messages, all this old shit. And it's just a whole mess. There was a FaceTime in the midst of this and all of this old crazy shit and all of this stuff. So now, even though she set it off and she essentially put the conspiracy in motion for all of this to take place, she's not charged. Her brother's not charged, and neither are there any of the other dickheads that got fucking shot in the midst of this. None of them are charged, but Travis is charged, even though they came to his fucking home.
So which one died?
One of the
niggas that
friends.
came with the brother.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the niggas that came with the brother. He met his maker. And it's like, rip bozo. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations for putting yourself in a position to, to think that y'all was the last niggas with guns. And it's like, I keep saying this, at this point in life, 2023, something y'all don't understand, nothing else. As I stare into this camera, nobody is afraid of nobody.
Nope.
Everybody got guns. Everybody got access to bigger guns. Everybody has people in their life that are willing to throw it all away on their behalf right now. Like, everybody has somebody, and some of us got 2, 3, 4 somebodies in our circumference that is prepared to go do 30 at a moment's notice on our behalf if you fucking cross the line, abuse us, do some, out of pocket shit. And that goes for man, women, child, all of that, all of the above. And you see, when you get to fast forward, you get to the part of like her testimony, you see the total lack of seriousness, a lack of compassion, and a lack of accountability, where she's just like, well, yeah, I mean, I told them to like go shoot his shit up, but like I ain't want them to shoot him. And it's like, excuse me, ma'am. And the prosecutor,
So she's
the,
like, oh,
the
so
defense
you shoot
attorney,
his mom or the brother?
yeah, the defense attorney is like, so
person.
what does shoot his shit up mean? Shoot up his property, but no people. Like, you can see she's freestyling and shit on the stand. Shoot up his property, but no people. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, but not, but she said, but not him. So the lawyer comes back. Good ass lawyer says, oh, so his brother? No, not his brother. Just anything except a person. I didn't want a person to get shot, just the property. And she's like, well, if you shoot into a property, people like potentially can get shot. Yeah, but that's not what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, you said, we say things all the time we don't mean.
Yeah, we say things, people, when you're mad, you know what I mean? You say things that you don't mean, and I'm just like, yo, this chick is crazy. Like, how is she not charged? Like, I would charge her right now for conspiracy.
Because the pistols, they didn't know about the pistols in time.
Yeah.
It's like me, like you and your chick arguing, and she mad and she call you a fat bitch. Okay,
you mad.
But if we mad and you call someone and say, come kill him.
Yes. We've taken it to another level.
That's further than mad.
We are on a new level. Shout out to ASAP Ferg at that point.
I'm gonna say this when it comes to this whole situation. You're in the NFL, right? Whether you're not in the NFL,
yeah, you NFL adjacent.
Whether you in the NFL, I'm not even fuck being in the NFL. I'm just as a man, black men particularly, we have to start having standards. We have to start making better decisions about where we have to start making better decisions about where we're laying our head, better decisions about who we hanging out with, and ultimately, every piece of pussy ain't good pussy. I'm just being real. Like, we have this thing where it's like niggas want to be so lit with the hoes and so in the hoes' faces that you don't even be realizing the bitch is lining you and you lining yourself.
Yep, you putting yourself in danger.
Lil Wayne has, I queued it up right now because I just want to explain to y'all, Lil Wayne is one of the best rappers ever. Lil Wayne has a mixtape. It's arguably the best mixtape ever. It's called No Ceilings. On No Ceilings, he has a song, I don't know if you remember it, it's called Shoes. You remember that? Mm-hmm. He said this.
That's what your business.
It's very simple.
It's quite simple.
Stop letting these messy hoes mess with your business. I could look at this bitch and in 25 seconds know you ain't coming in my house.
As the young niggas say, I can look at you and tell you ain't on shit.
Dog. There is no way on earth you met this person and thought that she was a solid, thorough, well-kept individual. There's no way you thought that. But what you did see, like I saw, was that thick-ass lower half, that light skin, that pretty ass face, and was like, yeah, no, that's bae.
And them fat titties.
Yeah, and them fat little titties. That's it. Niggas gotta start having standards, dog. It's like it just blows my mind to see people get into these situations where you have the ability to go out and make life-altering, generational altering money. And you just so frivolous with it that you want anything.
Yeah.
You fucking with any stripper bitch, this shit blows
Fake real estate agent.
Dog,
like, it's whatever
what
with you
the
niggas.
Fuck.
I say it all the time. In 286 years, when men get some standards, you bitches is
You
in trouble.
bitches is in, listen, in 4,000?
In the year 4,000?
Y'all done.
2023.
You bitches is finished.
2,000 years.
Yo.
Men don't have no standards. When you add up the totality of all men don't have no standards. And this is the reason why men who have standards, we get excoriated for having standards, because the niggas that can't get no pussy will white knight themselves and throw the good niggas under the bus.
Did you see
for access to a stinking bitch?
Did you see the guy? He had flexing the Rolexes, and the bitches lined him and murdered him down in Guatemala, some goddamn where or whatever. Turns out the Rolexes was fake.
Of course.
And it's just like, yo, everything is bad about all of this. And it's like that whole shit. You know, there's like a whole like underworld now of like niggas that go to these overseas places because you can go over there and like buy pussy for like a couple meals.
Yeah, the passport
not
bros.
even the passport bros. I mean like regular bros. Like niggas is just going to
just the bros.
Just the bros. Niggas is going to DR and all just because you can go there and have wild ass orgies with the whole town for $200.
Yeah, $400 US.
And it's like, yeah, that's all good, but it's like, what happens when that one bitch decides to holler at the nigga with the underground tunnel?
Get a nigga from the cartel.
And then you got an AR in your face in another fucking planet.
Turn you to cheese
Like,
steak.
and it's just like, you got to have a little bit of standards and a little bit of discretion. And niggas have gotten to the point where no matter how high ranking niggas are, they have none. This shit is mind blowing, dog. Like, and here you are again in this situation where your biggest bout should be trying to figure out your career.
Exactly.
That should be your main and only focus. But you know what you doing? You're not running a 3-9. You out letting off 39 rounds from an AR-15 on niggas who came to shoot your shit up because you fake hit the bitch who's the fake real estate agent. Yeah. Even though she married to another nigga. This is a mess, dog.
It's a Tubi movie.
It's a Tubi movie.
Somebody on Akademiks.
I got some good shit for this. Somebody
on Akademiks chat was like, could you imagine getting a call from your wife to come shoot up the boyfriend that beat her up? Like, what do you do? Like, what you supposed to do? Like,
babe, you in the bed? No, all right.
I'm not gonna believe this shit. Why my boyfriend just beat me up at his house?
Dog,
like, what are you supposed to do?
You really do gotta operate with some discretion, man. You really gotta like set boundaries and standards, especially when you on a path that most people aren't on. Yeah, and I had this conversation with somebody the other day where, cause he like a nigga. He was like, yeah, man.
Like a
nigga. He was like, yeah, man, you and Chad went kind of crazy on Ja. Like, y'all was screaming he deserved 50 games. And I'm like, why? Like it's been a couple weeks. You still feel like he deserved 50 games? And I'm like, you know what? I've had a couple weeks to like let it sit. And now I think he deserves 75 games. Like,
last 7 games of the season.
Yeah, you can come back for the last week of the NBA season.
Stay in shape, bitch.
Yeah, you fucking right. He deserved 50 games. You know why? Because you're guaranteed to make $50 million fucking dollars this year.
Yeah.
And your silly ass can't just go sit the fuck down and focus on that. You got grown ass people running around like, oh, come on, man. You remember when we was kids? Yes, I do. I never held a gun up on MySpace.
Yeah.
I do. I honestly
there was limited pistol play when I was a kid.
I wholeheartedly do remember that shit. Yeah. And it's just like we have all of these people, like sort of like the Envy Raw shit, where it's just like no matter how high a nigga make it, it's always some nonsense that's just present. Yep. It's always just looming. Like, you know, Tom Brady is just going, like how they was like, when Tom Brady retires, he's got a $300 million broadcast career. Think about that. Yeah. Arguably the greatest quarterback ever. He knows the moment he retires, he got $300 million guaranteed to go do broadcasting. Yeah. Adrian Peterson is arguably the greatest running back ever, and Adrian Peterson got knocked the fuck out last. Like, when you black, you are never away from nonsense, dog.
Yeah, because you invested in Tamika's watermelon and washing sets. Now you fucking financially strapped to the wall. Tom Brady made smart investments. Invested in his goddamn
Crazy
son.
part is Tom Brady got smoked in a couple of investments. Yeah. He got burnt in that whole
SBX shit?
SBX shit. Yeah. Tom Brady got smoked in that. It's just like, but I'm more so, fuck the investment shit. I'm more so just talking about the level of life.
Yeah.
Is never coming beneath. So like, not trying to be funny, dog. OJ rushed for 2,000. OJ cut somebody's head off.
Yeah.
Vince Lombardi was never going on trial later in life. I'm not.
We didn't have to endure the Mike Ditka murder trial.
Michael Jordan is arguably the greatest NBA player ever, right?
Yeah.
Mike Pop got smoked. Mike is a gambling act. Like, not like when you are black, it's like you just never can get away. It's always something right that's there, just like ever present.
It's right there.
And to see you make it to the NFL, make it to the NBA, make it to these big stages in music and entertainment, and you look up and it's just like, wait, what happened now? Like, this little motherfucker's supposed to be focused on a long NFL career. And here you are on trial for murder just for fucking around with this goofy married hoe.
Yeah. That you didn't even know was married. They added the defense attorney asked her, so did you disclose to Travis that you was married? She's like, oh, it never came up.
Yeah. I mean, we don't talk about
that. Just vibing. Like, he didn't ask.
But all you had to do was take your horny ass home. That's it.
That's all you had to do, bro.
And it just blows my mind at times when I look at it where it's just like, come on, yo. Like, this what we on? Like the Josh shit. Like, your issue ain't you pulled out a gun to protect one of your family members from an intruder, and they hanging you out to say, oh, you became the aggressor in a situation, or whatever, or you know, you hanging with somebody from your hood and trying to invest money in somebody they deem as like a criminal or a bad rubber. It's just you doing stupid ass shit that they told you not to do.
Yeah, people talking about your friends need to protect you and all that. No, we need to protect your friends from you, nigga. You the bad influence. And Jeezy told us best, who the fuck want to play with guns? A lot of blood, a lot of holes, dog. That shit ain't fun. Like, it's nothing thorough about playing with guns.
I'm saying they freeze framed the joint. He had a switch on there.
I'm seeing grown people advocating like, oh man, you just gotta let a kid be a kid. Like, no, the fuck you don't, dog.
I saw a worse joint than that, and I generally like Corey Holcomb a lot. I think he be on point with a lot of shit that he be saying, and he thinks like alternatively out the box like me, but he was just wrong on his Josh shit. He was trying to make it seem like Josh signed like a slave deal and this, and I'm like, no the fuck he didn't. Josh signed a deal that will pay him in excess of $200 million to play a kid's game, to play basketball. And with that comes certain rules, regulations, and parameters your ass gotta abide by if you want this $200 million.
I said it the other day.
If you work at Enterprise Rent-A-Car and you make $55,000 a year, it's certain shit you can't do.
I said it the other day.
So why should I feel sorry for Joe?
I said it the other day to the mom. I'm like, this is very simple, dog. You don't want to be chastised or ridiculed by your employer. That's perfectly fine. Because his whole thing is, oh, he ain't break no law. And you're right. He didn't break a law. But these are the rules set forth by your employer. You don't want to adhere or abide by the rules. That's perfectly fine. Give the contract back. Yeah. Give the Cullinans back. Give the 200 guaranteed back. The IC-12
go back to something.
The IC-12 got to you. It's like niggas have this thing where it's like, yeah, I really need this job, man. I hope I get this job. Get the job and then show up the first day and be like, don't nobody say shit to me. Slap the shit out somebody. It's like, it don't work.
I'm just here to do my 8 and skate.
It don't work like that
at all.
Kev straight told me that one of his the CEOs of his law firm straight apologized to them for wearing jeans to the office.
Yeah.
This is a multi-million, if not billionaire, owns this whole legal shit, came in with jeans on some random shit, and apologized to the people who work for him. So you know your dungarees can never come to you know that, right?
Because that's a real, in that moment, that's a real leader. And he understands that fish rots from the head down. So if y'all see me doing something that's unbecoming of the leader, y'all gonna start fucking slipping, and I'm gonna have nobody but myself to blame. So for that, I apologize in advance. Y'all know this ain't that. Yeah. We not about to turn into fucking denim casual Fridays for this motherfucker. No, y'all niggas got work to do.
Yeah. Let me see a pair of Lees in this motherfucker. All right.
I see some dungarees around this bitch.
But ain't that crazy though? Like him as the fucking boss say, yo, I apologize to everybody. Yeah. And it's like that's another level of accountability and understanding. Absolutely. So it's like for me to look at these situations where you have all of these things going on and no one has no accountability at all anywhere. And it's just like us left to try to figure this shit out. Oh, well, maybe bro going through something. I ain't going through shit. I ain't going through shit. Your nigga was dancing on top of color. That nigga ain't going through nothing.
He ain't going through his collection.
He ain't going through his collection. I tell you what he going through. His gun collection. He going through some bitches' Instagram pages. He going through what type of bullet he going to use, civil defense or hollow tips. Like he going through a lot of shit.
Adam Silver straight came out the other day and Adam Silver said, listen, I've already got the suspension figured the fuck out. But because it's going to draw too much attention and take away from these guys that's in the finals right now, I'm going to just go ahead and wait and we'll handle that shit right after the finals is done. And I said, yo, do you know how bad of a suspension you got coming when the nigga who's the governing your league is like, yo, that shit going to overshadow the fucking championships.
We just got y'all comfortable to even watch this final. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I said the other day, I'm like, this shit might be 150. Like,
they said during our investigation, we uncovered.
They uncovered a bunch of other shit.
They say it's the switch.
And again, that goes back to my point. Protect your friends from you. You are the negative influence, not your friends.
Your friend was the one that tried to protect you.
He tried to protect you. Oh, this nigga here.
You know him all out. You know.
This nigga here, man. Goddamn.
This was just supposed to be a video out for me to get some pussy. You want to pull a goddamn gun.
You want to pull the true life. I can't stop pulling out the blick. Like, he can't help himself, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo,
everybody DMing me. Damn, you drawing with it. Man, this was a pussy out.
Yeah. I'm just trying to show the hoes I'm with Ja.
Trying to show the hoes I'm with Ja.
If you around right now, Ja with me.
Yeah. Bitch. Like,
nigga done messed the whole flow up. Put the baby nine in the video.
All of these dumbass situations just come from no discretion, no seriousness. Like I said it the other day, looking at like Kobe Bryant, like where? Who's that dedicated? Who's really running around with that Mamba mentality shit? Yeah. Like when I look at the NBA, I see people that are more dedicated to so much other shit than like their profession of a basketball player. It's almost laughable. Yes, indeed. Draymond Green is more dedicated to podcasting at this point.
That nigga, you just got swept. Nigga right on. So let me tell you what went on tonight. Yeah. Like, if you don't get your dumb ass off this camera.
That's reality.
Drop some tears or something.
I'm just being honest. Chris Paul to me is not dedicated to winning the championship. He's dedicated to making dumbass commercials. That's why every time I look up, he got a dumbass commercial and he don't got a championship.
Me and Dan had a conversation with this older gentleman. Shout out to him wherever he may be yesterday at Landmark or whatever, just about a bunch of different stuff. He was just throwing shit at us, and I guess based on my first answer made some sense. So he's like, let me keep talking to these young niggas. Made his day. You know what I'm saying? Older black gentlemen or whatever. And I'm just like, yo, I just think it's certain players now to where it's like, yeah, they still good. Like KD's still good. I don't think he cares about winning a championship. He's treating basketball like a job. I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna drop 28 to 40 points. I'm gonna motherfucking get a couple rebounds, contest on defense, 30% of the time, and then I'm gonna go the fuck home.
It's too much other shit going on. Anthony Davis, he's too committed to worrying about a different Gucci button up every fucking job. Seriously, that's this shit I see him doing day in and day. These players, these guys, they're worried about so much other shit, and we've almost given them the farm when it comes to jewelry, the hoes, influence, all. So literally John Wall and Bradley Beal are literally going to earn over $650 million in both of their careers. Neither of these niggas have been on a 50-win game team. Neither of them have made it to the second round of the playoffs. It's just reality.
You can Dougie like a motherfucker.
650?
650 is crazy.
It's insane. But that's where we are. So when you literally, back in the day, especially coming out of like the 70s, 80s, 90s and shit, to make it to where you were a multi-millionaire, do you remember when you had to start Tyco or some shit that?
You had to create a transformative company or product.
Think about like the $100 million motherfuckers from when we were young. It was like Oprah, Bill Cosby.
Like $100 million ain't no money no more. That's crazy.
Crazy. You know why? They gave Danny Green $100 million.
When I seen when Mike Conley got that, 4-year 150? I was like, what the fuck?
Tobias got 180.
$180.
That's a long ways away from what Toby got back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Toby got his foot cut off.
Like, seriously.
Tobias got $180.
Like that's just
as a fifth option.
That's just where we are now. So when you got that much money, and we all know now money is the root of everything. Money is gonna get you everything you want. Back in the day, think about it. Michael Jordan made 98 in his whole career. And that was with 2 seasons where they ripped off a 30 ball for 2 seasons. Mike made $30 million his last 2 years in Chicago. That nigga career earnings was not 100. That shit crazy. Whereas now, if you just a mid-level player, you gonna get 17 to 20 a year. Yeah. JJ Redick got 23
the mid-level exception is $15 million now.
JJ Redick got 23 mil for that year with the Sixers.
They say, we gotta hit the cap floor. What can we do? Give JJ 23.
Seriously. So when I look around and I see people where they make money and can just go off and look at Todd McCullough. Todd McCullough got shoved by Shaq in them fucking playoffs. Todd McCullough say, yeah, I'm joining the pinball league. Y'all got me fucked
out
up.
of here.
I'm out of here. Big Todd Mack. They're playing pinball.
They just got finished paying Matt Geiger.
Dog just got finished
paying Matt Geiger.
Bobby Bonilla's still getting checks.
Every summer, he about to get another 1.18 million.
So when you got shit like that, it's just hard to get an understanding. And then you see these people go out into the world and into the streets. And like, let's be real. Do you remember like at one point in life, like, do you remember when rappers and sports weren't getting into crazy shit?
Yeah.
Think about how wild that is. Like, even when you look back at, like, the late 80s, the early 90s, Tupac was, like, broke the mold where it was like, wait, he got arrested for what?
Right.
He did what? Let's say what now?
Rape.
He did what? Mike Tyson, when he went to jail, like, wait, what? Heavyweight champion, not for no civil right. What? And then you looked up and you saw where, like, the Jailblazers and all, like, that shit became, like, common because you got too much money to be regulated.
Yeah.
You essentially lawless just on the strength. How the fuck is you gonna tell me anything? The president, I make more than the president making a year in a game.
It's nothing to be said to me.
The fuck?
And if you say something, eat shit.
And I just remember when we were young where it was like the pinnacle of like money making shit was like to just have the term multi-millionaire attached to you was like this. You remember Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous? That old white nigga, that voice used to be on the boat and shit. Robert Leach, yeah. Like, it was just a different attitude towards that type of shit. Where now a young black man can get to the point where he has a Rolls Royce Cullinan in custom colors. This car 500 base. And you got a custom one sitting on custom Fujiano rims and all of this shit. And in that, you're not eating Grey Poupon with a motherfucking tuxedo on headed to a gala. You in that joint with a blick and a wife beater. Even though you play for the Grizzlies. This is nuts, yo.
Shirt. Who need a shirt?
Yeah. And you say this and people look at you like you crazy, and it's like, no, yo, like all of this shit is wrong. All of this.
I think in general, black people are too comfortable intermingling street culture with just trying to normalize it and make it like our culture. There was a time where we didn't engage in all of this fuck shit. Like we were well-to-do, family-oriented, community-based people. And it's like we accepted, elements of other people's cultures and indoctrinated that shit into ours. And then you had like, biochemical warfare with like the AIDS crisis and crack and all of that shit back to back to back to back, like we talked about on the show with Umar, and it just destroyed the fabrics of like, our fucking community, where it's like, the average person now don't even know they fucking neighbor, but who, that Carisha and Diddy is in a trick hoe relationship, that shit, but you don't know who the fuck your three neighbors are immediately next door to you.
And listen. We've really gone off the reservation bad. And if you really understand like the history of like Rolls Royce, you know what I'm saying? Like understanding like, how they came together and shit. It was initially supposed to be the Royce Rolls, but he was like, nah, it flows better alphabetically and shit, whatever. And just understanding like, Rolls Royce is from
Great
Britain. And literally, like, they were, like, showing how they built the 5040, which was, like, before the Phantom and all that. It was called the Silver Ghost and all that crazy shit. And they were basically showing, like, how, their thing was to, like, build something that was, like, regal enough for, like, the royal families and shit like that. And to get to that point where, like, they were selling cars for $6,000 in the early 1900s. Yeah. Like, $6,000 bought you a brand new Caddy in the 60s. $6,000 in the early 1900s was like, wait, what? That's like $500,000. Like, exactly. Like that was unheard of.
Are you rich?
And that's what the Rolls Royce represented. And you really understand the 4050, the original Phantom, the Silver Seraph, all these different things. Like to get a Rolls Royce, the Corniche, to get all these different things was like, you got a Rolls Royce. So to see y'all with these joints now where you just in the Rolls Royce doing dumb shit, it's like, you don't even respect where you at.
Exactly.
That's where we've gotten to now, though. The Cullinan is like, it's just the Cullinan.
I remember when Eric B, the legendary Eric B and Rakim, Death Row East, that whole everything. He actually owned the Death Row merchandising rights up until like 4 years ago when Snoop Dogg bought them, whatever. He owned the Death Row merchandising rights like forever or whatever, made a ton of money off of that. But I remember him saying like his first car was a Rolls Royce. Like he basically like, was, starting off in music or whatever, him as a producer and a DJ, him and Rakim get together and he was just like, yo, I didn't have a car for like my first 2-3 years in the music industry and I saved up and like my first car was a Rolls Royce and I just remember how big of a deal that shit was to like everybody in like rap culture, all the people I'm coming in contact with, like, wait, you a 22-year-old black nigga with a Rolls Royce? Like that shit was a big ass deal.
Yeah.
Now it ain't because everybody got them.
Yeah, it's trivial.
Black and lit, you got a Cullinan. It just is what it is.
It comes with the territory, and so because of it, we don't respect. We in these situations don't respect them at times. So it's a lot. What else we got?
Couple things. I just want to wrap up by trying to figure out, is Jamie Foxx actually okay?
Yeah, I have no clue.
I'm seeing so many conflicting reports about this, and I'm really starting to get worried. The family is saying that, he was really sick. It was like a dire situation, and he, made a full recovery, came back. He was playing pickleball and all this old stuff. Something weird happened. Somebody leaked like some old footage of him and Poppy Steak trying to make it seem like it was new, and then that caught everybody's attention. And then now there's a reporter saying that he has somebody like inside the circle that told him in reality Jamie Foxx is partially paralyzed and blind in one of his eyes. And it's gotten to a joint where it's like all of this like conjecture and all these different talking points and I really don't know what to believe. And I just wanted to shoot it to y'all to see any of y'all thoughts on this, like if you have any like sway one way or another, how you like think this is going, and is Jamie Foxx going to be okay?
Yo, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't want to sound bad or whatever. I really have I haven't even been paying attention to this shit.
Yeah, I
remember them saying that he was in the hospital, but then I remember seeing somewhere like his daughter or something was like he's cool.
Yeah,
but then I remember seeing something afterwards was like he ain't that cool.
Right.
And then the Heat blew it game 1. And that's kind of, like I honestly just haven't been really focused on like it is weird to see like
so many conflicting, like nobody can get on one singular plane. Like
my thing is Jamie Foxx means so much to so many people. Where is y'all at?
Yeah. Like
where is Puffy? Where is Ludacris? Where is Fancy? Where is
yeah, where's the support system?
Where are all these actors and actresses and shit that he was around for all these times and being around? Like, where's Terrence Howard? Yeah. Somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Like, and I don't say this to be funny, but I literally hope like that he's not like Weekend at Bernie status, and the family is just like keeping him propped up, like trying to avoid probate, or like there's some like financial implication to this shit, and they trying to make it seem like he's okay when he's really not, because like right now they got control, and if he die or whatever, he may not have a will or something might be out of alignment, and they just trying
and what are they saying happened exactly?
The new theory is I don't even want to say this because of YouTube algorithm. The new theory is that he took the jab for having to work in Hollywood, for Corona. They saying that he took the you know what I'm saying, the serum, we'll call it, and that he had an adverse reaction to it, and then that's the new latest reason of how this happened.
What's so ridiculous about that?
Well, it's just that, the shit is literally like a 1 in, I don't know, it's like a 1 in 1.9 million chance or something like that people have adverse reaction to.
People, the way you were saying, I thought it was like some old.
No. I'm saying it like because I don't want to ding the, YouTube is strict about that.
Yeah, no, but there are adverse reactions to every medicine, to any. So that's not no crazy shit. Like realistically, DC Young Fly, they said that his girl passed away during a surgery. Yeah, that happens all the time. I know someone whose aunt died during a weight loss surgery. It's just reality. It's like,
I had a homegirl that died during it's during the BBL.
It's reality. Like it just, my thing is what's actually happening and why hasn't anyone come out? Yeah, and no singers, no musicians. Jamie Foxx got hits with people. Nobody has just come out and just been like, I haven't seen much. I'm praying for you, Jamie Foxx. Yeah. So I'm just like,
nobody has basically made the proclamation where it's almost like they staking their reputation on it one way or another. Like either saying like he really fucked up or he's really cool. Nobody's like definitively saying, no, I talked to Fox, he fucked up, or no, I talked to Fox, he good. Like nobody's saying, nobody that you would think, none of the usual suspects that are in and around Jamie Foxx's life.
And like even at the Dave Chappelle thing the other night, he talked about the whole story with the guy that rushed him on stage. Yeah. And he was like, Jamie Foxx was whipping his ass. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even in that, he didn't say, get well, Jamie. And like, he just told the story and went on to some other. So it's just like
what's going on here?
Everybody's acting like there ain't nothing going on. So that's why I'm just like,
it's getting a little suspicious.
I'm not gonna hold you to me. Maybe it was, and I just ignored it. But I just was like,
It's getting a little suspicious.
I'm gonna be honest, yo. I'm getting to a point where it's like, if it ain't like in my immediate, I don't, because I
just want Jamie Foxx to be okay.
Yeah, I do too. But I don't go on none of these blogs because that's just the wrong place to go for shit like that. I don't go on none of these blogs. I don't go on none of these stupid websites. I just.
The Shade Room got jammed up the other day. They did like some contradictory posts. They had posted the day before about, DC Young Fly girl passing away and all that from cosmetic surgery. Then the next day they put a joint up like, Coach Stormy just had such and such surgery. And I'm just like, are y'all just completely just have...
What's wrong with saying? So she didn't die?
No. The whole thing was the backlash was this. So DC Young Fly girl dies. Then the next day, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the chick, Coach Stormy, the one that was talking about the low vibrational plate and all of that. She went viral for all of that shit a couple months ago.
I remember the plate
shit.
She
had some sort of surgical procedure, and then the Shade Room posted it. And they like, the people are like, why are y'all posting this when somebody else just died from cosmetic surgery? Like, what message are y'all trying to send to people? Like, right now it was like for that 24 hours, but in between them posts, it was like, oh yeah, y'all gotta be, more careful about, who y'all getting surgery from. And it was all of this surgery awareness going on. And then as soon as somebody pays them for a fucking promotional post or whatever about surgery, we right back to talking about surgery again. So people was like it's like not engaging with it, and all the people that was engaging with it was, just basically like, yo, this is stupid.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with
and
you,
insensitive.
and I know that my words aren't going to change anything. I know that. Y'all want life to start getting a little bit better and us getting back to like some type of normal interactions with people. We gotta let these stupid blogs.
We have to let them fail. Let them fail. You have to.
I'm being honest with you. Somehow, some way, I don't go on them. You can go on my Instagram. You can see my search. I do not subscribe to none of this junk that they do. And somehow I go to games. I still be at events. Go on vacations.
Eat good dinners.
I got some chicken wings. Like somehow, some way, I'm figured out life without having to constantly be on these blog sites arguing with strangers. It just. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I really don't know what to say. Like, we are so... I told you when I seen that shit with the girl, the pregnant girl the other day, and I'm just like how I just talked about in the 90s where it was like Oprah. Like, do you remember when Oprah was like the pinnacle of black success?
Yes.
Like, people were running around saying Oprah should run for president.
Yes.
I remember that.
That was a thing.
And now it's like I see these girls that are like, who is this? And it's almost like you think it's like a joke. You think it's like a sketch.
Yeah, like y'all punking me.
But turns out, no, this person is really, really lit.
Yeah, this person is viable to the black culture.
Then you find out what she's lit for, and it's like fighting with her baby father. That's it.
Like, what else you got? No, that's it. Like, she beat niggas up. Go right up to, boop, boop. Go right in the nigga's shit. That's what she do.
And that's where we are. And you got these blogs who covet this shit because they know y'all can't fucking function without knowing what's going on with this girl.
Yeah, whoever was on the Roots Picnic social media on their Instagram or whatever had posted a video from Glorilla performance, and Krishan Rock was there performing with her or whatever, and she's literally barefoot, pregnant, on stage twerking, and all of the women with sense are like, why is this our representation? We shouldn't be, promoting this. This is crazy, da 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 da. And then the Krishan Rock Glorilla fans is like, well, what's she doing wrong other than just having a good time? Y'all thinking too much into this and da da da. And I'm just like, yo, we have ripped shame, morals, ethics. All of that shit is just out of the gumbo. I think that's the biggest one is the shame zone, where it's just like... You can't shame nobody.
With no shame, there's no reason for me to have accountability because there's no shame. I don't have to feel that shit.
Do whatever I want. I'm lit.
I'm lit.
What's the name say? What Blockhead JB say? Young and turnt shit.
I said it the other day. There was a time period in life where... Because that, everybody's thing now is I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. Mm-hmm. Do you remember, and I know you grew up somewhat similar to me, I'm not going to say your house was maybe as strict as mine was, because we had a lot of leeway, but we had a lot of strictness, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And the leeway with the strict shit at the same time was, you can do whatever you want to do. You just better not embarrass me.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes, my mom was the same way.
Where it's like, oh, you can do whatever you want to do. Just make sure that if something come back to this house and you embarrass me, you gonna wish you never went the fuck out there and did whatever the fuck. And I say it all the time. I was never afraid of any nigga in my neighborhood.
Right.
I was never afraid of getting locked up. I was never afraid of getting into some shit and having. And I was never. You know what I was afraid of? Embarrassing my mother or my father. Yeah. That's what I was afraid of. That was it. That was the end all be all to everything.
Yeah. My mom sat me down when I was like 15 years old. And, this is really started to like find myself and start moving around and having my, my friend group very pronounced and all of that. And we hanging and, we go to school together, but then we got our weekend activity and all of that stuff. And I'm starting to, become who I am as like a young man or whatever. And I remember, telling my mom like, oh, Mom, I'm going here and then this and this. And I'm giving her a whole rundown. And she like, what you telling me for? I'm like, what you mean? I'm like, I'm just trying to let you know. She's like, listen. You a young man, you 15 years old. By the time I was your age, I already had you. You've already beat the odds because you didn't repeat that process. With that being said, you smart. You a leader. I trust you that you're going to make the right decision and do the right shit. You ain't got to report to me your every whereabout, but you need to be in this house by a certain time. You need to be accountable for your actions and make sure you don't do nothing that you wouldn't want me to find out about. And my whole motivation from then on was I'm not going to embarrass my mom. Like, I'm not going to do nothing where I got to be ashamed to explain what the fuck I did to my mother. Like, because she's trusted me to give me a certain level of freedom, but with that freedom could be the freedom for me to crash the fuck out if I mismanage this shit.
I'll never forget 6th grade. I got into a argument with this kid in my class, man, Travis, and he hauled off and hit me. Like, I didn't even think it was going there that fast.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
wasn't
thinking,
ready.
I was not ready, dog.
I wasn't ready.
I was not ready, Chief. Hold on. And he hauled off and swung. And, I mean, he caught me right over top of my eye. Like, hit me right here. Bow. And out of knee-jerk reaction, he hit me. And I kind of, like, planted my left foot and lunged at him. And, I mean, left hand. I mean, I'm talking about... What he said?
Cleared his head.
I drove through the nigga face. Like, I'm talking about, I drove through his fucking skull, and I laid him out. And I remember Miss Ross, Miss Lucille, they all rushed and was breaking us up, and then they was like, "You're going to the principal's office," because they saw me.
Yeah,
they didn't see his initial jump. And I remember, like, it felt...
Little sneaky nigga.
Dog, no bullshit, yo.
He got his off, ain't nobody...
Dog, yo, listen. No bullshit, yo. It felt like... The way they whisked me off to the principal's office felt like some, like, ice raid shit. Like, like they just, like, carried me to the principal's office. And I remember Mr. Robero was the principal, and he was just like, "Yeah, we're calling your mother." And I remember I was just, like, sick. Yeah. Not out of fear of retaliation for the way I hit him. But just like, my mom gonna be so fucking mad.
My mom gonna call me a dickhead.
She ain't talk to me like that. But...
She thought it.
She probably thought it. Yeah.
Thought that shit.
Yo, man, I remember I got home and, like, my mom and my pop was both like, "He hit you first?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they was like, "Are you lying?" I'm like, "No, he really hit me in the eye," whatever. And then my mom talked to a couple of other mothers from the kids who was in the classroom, and it was like, "Yeah, he hit Matt first." And they was cool about that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And my pops had me now. He told me his story from, like, I remember I had this guy maybe messing with me, and I hit him in the gut. He started giving me, we having this Rocky and Rocky son moment. But I was dead ass sitting there like, I don't give a fuck about him. And what just the thought of embarrassing them or making them feel away, that was a real thing. And we don't have that no more. These kids don't give a fuck about embarrassing their parents, like, because the parents is cool with it. Yep. They don't embarrass the kid. I say it all the time. You know what's the most, and I didn't mean to go down this rabbit hole. You know what irritates me more than anything now? Have you seen these new nigga parents where they take their kid phone and go on their Instagram live?
Yeah, I don't get that.
And start, like...
I don't get that. Start communicating with the kids.
With the other kids, like, yeah, she don't even wash up, y'all. Look at, I be like, yo,
her pussy stink right now.
Don't like crack on it.
Yo!
You want some of this pussy, you gonna get some mahi-mahi. This shit gonna be real fishy. Terrell.
Yo, the mom be on they kid live talking to the other kids. Look at him. He a little bitch ass nigga. He ain't no gangster. Shay, say what's up, you little bitch ass nigga.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, y'all?
I'm a little bitch ass nigga. I ain't gonna get nobody repped on. That was an NBA young boy
bitch ass, no. I be like, what the fuck is up with these new parents, man?
They are batshit crazy. They are clout chasers. Like Kev said months ago, last year rather, when we did the first Rico Mania episode, everybody's clout chasing. Lawyers, doctors, parents, like everybody is cooked, dog. We are fried.
These parents are insane. I be like, yo, I couldn't imagine my mom setting up because we had camcorder. I couldn't imagine
put this on the tripod. Matter of fact, hold this camera.
Hold this camera, Walt. Let's talk to this nigga.
Tell this nigga something in front of his friends.
Yo.
You wanna be a little nigga?
Now you take this to school tomorrow and you wheel the TV into the room and you play this for everybody. Like, I couldn't imagine, man.
I got a presentation,
I got
y'all.
a presentation. I got something. Cut the lights real quick, Chesley. We got to show this to the people. Like, I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't. Seeing y'all do that shows where we are.
Burnt out parents.
Burnt the fuck out. So it don't shock me when I see Gunplay filming the conversation with Envy.
Oh, no.
This is the way society works. We just fried and cooked all the way around, man. I just want people to make better choices. I know I say that a lot, but I'm serious.
No, you say it a lot because you mean it. You're being it's a sincere thought.
You can operate with a lot more discretion, a lot more
discernment.
Discernment, yeah, it's a good word. Like you don't have to be as trashy and as messy as you possibly can be all the time.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it all the time. And it's like y'all take every opportunity to just be as low class, as low down, as fucking just shameless as you possibly can be. And that shit needs to end. So that's my rant for the day.
Yeah, real quick before we get out of here. Gunna is back. You know what I'm saying? Gunna has dropped a new record.
The rapper Gunna?
The rapper Gunna.
Oh, okay.
He has dropped a new record. It's called Bread and Butter. It has done 3.8 million views in 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to give y'all my quick little story about how I found the record. So I look at my text messages. I see, I got a new text, whatever. Check it. It's DJ Young Legend. I check it. It says Gunna, Bread and Butter. I was like, this can't be good. Let me go do something else. I'll come back to this later. So I come back about an hour and a half later. I click the video. I start watching the shit. And the video opens, it's in black and white, and it says Hollywood, California. I immediately paused the video, went back to my text message thread with DJ Young Legend. I said, Hollywood, California, huh? Yeah, I bet. And then I went back and proceeded to keep watching this video. And the Hollywood, California shit is very, very, very important and a very important cerebral point because shit is hot for Gunna right now in Atlanta. He is going to have problems if he's floating around the streets of Atlanta right now because, like we kind of alluded to last week, Young Thug has affected so many people. And so many people have love for this guy that it's like if we got to pick between Gunna and Thug, we like Thug way better. Like Weezy the producer, Lil Durk, 21 Savage, like all of these different people have all elected to choose the side of Young Thug. So when I see that, you know, that Hollywood, California flash across the joint, I'm like, yo, so many silent alarms go off in my head because I know what this is. Number one, it's hot for you in Atlanta. Number two, you know, you are a Shady Park Crip or whatever that falls under the Rolling 60s flag. So what are you going to do? I'm going to go to the motherland. I'm going to go to the home of the Rolling 60 Crip so that you could fall under that Rolling 60 Crip gang card or whatever, and now you'll be protected again because shit is bad for you back home. And, you know, in the song, it's basically a big-ass, like, what about? Like, well, what about this person? What about the fact that you hanging with this person? What about the fact that this person told too? What about this going on? I only know you because of Thug and this and this and this. And it's just like, it's a good record. I'm gonna give him that. It sounds great, but it's a very, very nasty attempt at like restoring his reputation because essentially you're trying to go like the gangster rat route, like 6ix9ine kind of went, but you're doing it in a more like cerebral manner where it's like, oh yeah, how you mad at me and you in business with a rat? Essentially talking about potentially Meek with Desiree Perez at Roc Nation, potentially talking about Lil Baby and alleging that, you know, QCP cooperated. We talked about that on Patreon. And then Baby got another friend, this kid named G5 or whatever, that supposedly, you know, some guy made a video saying that he told on him and the nigga had a different street name and then he rebranded himself and came back around to something else. And there's all of these like little like cerebral like things that it's like if you're not on like Atlantology on Reddit, you're not going to understand a lot of this shit. But for those that do, I'm here to tell Gunna they're not buying it. Like the people that understand, you know, what you're doing in these situations that you're alluding to, they're not buying it because at the end of the day, we saw you in 92K video saying yes ma'am for 4 minutes and there's nothing that you can say or do that's going to erase that image from people's heads, you know what I mean? And don't get me fucked up, in this record coming out, you got people that are hardcore supporting Gunna, whatever. So it's split. It's like 50-50. 3.8 million views in 3 days. That ain't no small task. You know what I'm saying? The shit was trending top 5 on YouTube, the whole 9. You know what I'm saying? And I think people just, waiting on a response and seeing what he was going to say. And it's just very funny to see all of the different thoughts that people are having in real time around this shit. And a pervading thought for the people that are supporting him is essentially, well, he ain't telling me, why should we care about this? And I'm like, to those people, you have a point. I absolutely get it. However, those same people that, identify as citizens and resonate with, had I been placed in a situation where I felt like I didn't do nothing, I would cooperate too. But you're looking at it from somebody that's a part of normal function in society. The street world is far from perfect. It's flawed as fuck. It's fucked up. A lot of these rules are upside down, inside out, and just totally backwards. But when you sign up for a gang, when you sign up for a street fraternity, whatever the fucking case may be, you are saying that you're ascribing to that dysfunction and that you supposed to play that shit right, wrong, or indifferent. And when shit don't go your way, sometimes being a part of a dysfunctional street fraternity means that you got to go to jail for some shit that you didn't do. Right. It means that you got to sit back and shut the fuck up when you could just set the record straight and clear all of this up and take your ass home. That's what being a part of a dysfunctional street organization fucking means, unfortunately. So for Gunna, who essentially is in 2 different street fraternities, you a Shady Park Crip, and you part of YSL, which is a whole nother street organization / record label / whatever the fuck you want to call it. When you find yourself in precarious, position because you're associative to people that were doing real deal crime. Motherfuckers that was really out here impacting and infecting the fucking community, shooting niggas, killing niggas and all that shit. Because even if they're killing people or shooting people that's only in the life, it still affects the quality of living for everybody else. Right. So with all of that in mind, it's like y'all niggas riding around. There was a traffic stop that he ended up getting charged with, and then that brung on the conspiracy charge. It's guns, drugs, money, lean, 1 million pills, all of this shit. So it's like, yo, even if you just an addict, you're still associative to all of this dysfunctional street-based behavior or whatever that's fucking going on, and you don't get to choose to get out the car only when law enforcement pulls up behind y'all. Right. If you really ain't fucking with this, you supposed to get out the car way before all of that takes place. Right. It shouldn't take you being, threatened with, with 5 to 10 years in jail, 5 to 15 years in jail for you to be like, I'm waving a white flag, I'm out of here. Like, if you was really off this shit, you should have been removed yourself from it. So I say all that to say, Gunna, great song. Gunna, great attempt at trying to change the narrative. 3, the people who are unaware are believing your narrative shift. 4, the people that know all the gory details of everything you talking about are not buying it. And that's basically what it's going to be going forward. You got the Gunna didn't tell on me crowd. Then you got even though I'm a citizen, I still understand how people that aren't even in the street life get affected by the pitfalls of people cooperating with law enforcement. People got, you got people that's as square as they come, but they got cousins, they got brothers, they got fathers, they got sent to jail solely because of the place of confidential sources, confidential informants, and out and out ratting. So people are affected about this shit and they're emotional about it. And, to the people that don't give a fuck about, him telling, cool, I salute you and I respect it. However, I also would like you to temper how you speak about these situations if your fallback is, well, I don't care. Like, if you just don't care, then don't care all the way. I don't care about him telling, but then you are online writing soliloquies about why you understand why he did. Either you don't care or you care. Like, and people find themselves being inundated with these conversations too much and being too enthralled with, these street-based talking points, but they're going to default to, oh, I don't give a fuck. He ain't telling on me. Like, and it's like, yeah, you don't really get to do both. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on that matter.
Yeah, I have no thoughts.
Matt has no thoughts. He doesn't care about this nigger nonsense.
I really don't. I'm just being honest.
I just wanted to get it in, pause, because I know that people are going to ask, what are your thoughts on this? They care about our thoughts on every goddamn thing.
No, I've had people and I be like, listen, man, my attorney's number is like, I don't deal with no legal shit. Like, end of the day, I told y'all before, I remember sitting there telling you and P&B Louie and them, like, Gunna gonna make more hits. That's
Yeah.
the world we live. Like money rules everything.
Yep.
So morals, shame, and like how we just talked about in that way,
Shame is out the equation.
it doesn't exist. Like if I know for a fact one of the biggest public speakers out there is Michael Francis, who told. Like you know what I'm saying? I know for a fact that Sammy the Bull Gravano had like an extensive radio run with Howard Stern and all. Henry Hill Hill, not Gravano. Henry Hill had an extensive radio run with Howard Stern. It's like they made one of the greatest movies in Earth ever about him telling, and he's on the radio every week.
Yep.
So buckle up, niggas. Gunna's coming back.
Yeah, Gunna done lost the baby weight and all that. He done
Right.
lost the lean weight and all that. The Gunna knit fit and he ain't taking no shit.
All it takes is for Gunna to drop one catchy ass hook that hit TikTok where them kids don't give a fuck, and your ass gonna be dancing at the cookout. I'm sorry.
I'm like, damn, who this? As you shake your hips.
Yeah. I'm sorry to tell
As
you.
you rub your stomach.
I got nothing else though. We'll be back later this week. With
Oh
Taste
yeah,
Test.
shit. We didn't even talk
We
about
gonna do that. We gonna do that. We gonna do that. I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
We gonna
I got you. We gonna do that. I got you. You know what I'm saying? You got anything else you want to drop in there?
got nothing else, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all the best part of what we do. Shout out to the whole YouTube community. YouTube is growing. We just hit 11,125 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
So we want to push the 12K right now. Y'all keep watching them videos, running them numbers up. Keep subscribing. YouTube.com/@TRPE. Make sure y'all hit the Patreon. We giving out free trials on Patreon, 7 days for the VIP tier only. 7-day free, subscription to Patreon. You can get access to all of the back catalog and all that in the 7 days, and then you can, if you want, you can cancel at your own discretion if you elect to do that. Patreon.com/official TRPE. I'm Chad. This is Matt. Big Dan's here somewhere, and
here.
we're out.
We out.